Not the
Oh,
nuggets.
hell yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another session of Candlekeep Mysteries. Last time on Candlekeep Mysteries, you died.
Yeah.
More specifically,
I don't know. Don't speak about everyone.
you all took an extended rest over inside of Candlekeep and attended some tasks throughout the week there. Before getting ready and diving headfirst over into the pyramid of a mummy lord. Having arrived there into the pyramid, you ventured down all the way into the very bottom and found there the mummy lord, which actually ended up being some kind of Treant mummy lord combo. It's a mystery where which Trent came from. Really, it's
nobody knows.
anybody's
No
guess.
idea where that trend came from.
Nope. No idea.
And so it summoned its mummy lord minions, all a bit larger than usual, as the fight went on. As folks were afflicted by various forms of mummy rot, the players divulged one final gambit to try and unleash a massive nova of damage to finish the mummy lord off in one final massive hit. However, before they could attempt it, the mummy lord activated the ability to ash, which caused everybody with the mummy rot on them to disintegrate into fine bits of sand.
I thought it was to dust.
To dust, my bad. Into fine bits of dust, embedding themselves within the sand nearby. Jacob was the only one who was able to escape with the help of a dimension door, and pleaded over in the tavern for the assistance of one errant quill.
It's actually a metaphor.
Metaphorically
I
pleaded for assistance.
I wasn't actually asking for help.
God.
Even though your song said, "This is not a metaphor, my friends are
It
all
was
dead."
very symbolic of my dead friends.
I just want you all to know that the last note that I have from our last session after all this happened is we do not level up Sag.
Do not Pasco.
I still think this counts as experience, because I think it was definitely an experience.
It was an experience that
We
did
definitely had
have.
a time.
Yes, one of the times of all time.
Alright. And so with that handled, you attended to had Aaron Quill up here, who went with you with a number of priests at their disposal.
There they are.
And as Aaron Quill approached over to the pyramid, they uttered with but a sentence and the pyramid disappeared. And with the cleric priest nearby, everybody was brought back to life once again.
Yippee!
Which is where the session begins. Oh, well, there was one more thing that happened before the session begins. Somehow Phoenix had this in their pocket. It's weird how things like this keep happening.
Oh man, yeah, Liam, you missed the perfect session.
I
last
honestly,
time.
I'm very sad about it, because that sounded like that would have been like the column's like arch nemesis.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Arch nemesis or best friend.
It's honestly only who knows. Maybe that was actually the column, just in a costume.
I knew it.
Poor Zashi though.
All right. Who's the best person to hold this? Probably.
That's what I'm wondering.
Does anyone other than me use strength?
Not at the moment.
Probably
does.
Tony. Hey
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
Hey Tony!
Hey Tony.
Hey,
Tony.
Tony!
I will say, as a bit of a weird synergy, I have the Mizium armor, which means when I pass strength saving throws, I don't even take half damage. And this gives me advantage on strength saving throws and turns things into a strength saving throw.
I mean, that sounds pretty good for you then.
Oh,
And
does.
your strength score goes up to 15, which I'd imagine is probably not a good stat of yours.
You'd imagine that. And
I'd imagine that.
you'd be right, but I do have a 14, so I
Hey,
have
big
some.
extra point.
Oh yeah, huge increase. Yeah, so that might work for me. But
I
You
know
can
if
take
I
it
took
for
it,
this
I'll go
session
from
and
9 to
then-
15.
Yeah.
What if you break one of your instruments?
All right, yeah, because you sometimes accidentally
True.
crush
Oh,
or break
shit.
mundane objects of holy. You need magical instrument.
Also, how often
Oh
do
my
you make
God.
melee attacks?
Yeah.
You could
Well, I mean, you could
get
always
a
just
magical
take it.
instrument that doesn't break and just smack you with it.
You be the real barbarian.
Hate you.
All right, so it's an A there. I'm just making sure I have enough attunement slots. I think I'm good though.
It doesn't say that it's attunement.
It is
The
a
ring?
because that's a dash A.
Yeah.
Well, brackets A on it.
Which is the only way I can indicate it.
Where? I'm blind. Oh, I see.
It's on the
Lame.
name itself.
Lame.
All right, I guess for now it sounds like we're giving it to Jacob then.
Wait
Yes.
a minute, hang on.
Oh,
Sorry, like, I don't know why this took so long to just, like, register, but it's like, the Ring of Muscle. Like, well, I was, like, thinking, like, why is this familiar? This is what my character of Tomb Annihilation had. This was Damien's ring.
It is the ring of muscle. It is true.
Oh, God. I was just like, wait a minute. I was like,
Wait a fucking second.
Chotomate.
Choto a minute. Like,
Choto.
Tomato?
Jojo a minute. Oh my God.
Layla can't use that, but I was like, wait a minute, that was Damien's ring. Damien was the Mind Flayer. The Grind Flayer.
The
Grind Slayer.
The Grind Slayer.
He'd hate it if you called him the Mind Flayer, by the way.
The player's ring of muscle, by the way, does start off the first sentence says this magic ring contains the energy of an abnormally shredded aberration.
No.
The
That's not even
worst
correct.
kind.
He wasn't an aberration. He was an aberration.
Oh
Ah.
my God.
Let's go.
See.
All right. Anyway.
Dum 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 bum bum.
I'm going to remove the epidermis from your flesh.
My God, I missed that encounter. That was great. It went a little bit haywire, but in the end came out really great. Anyways.
Fine. Yeah.
Fine. I
Tiny
only died
more
for a
There,
little
I
bit.
fixed the description. It's
Shredded
proper.
aberration.
Oh my God. Nice.
Nice. All right, so I guess we just revived, and are we just like all on the ground with our magical equipment with Aaron Quill there? Is that Rose? It is indeed Rose.
Rose!
Tony.
Sorry, guys.
It's the nugget eater.
Did you like
I,
it?
I really thought I was gonna be back on time, but the movie was slightly longer than I anticipated.
Because
like
of
a
those
real
damn
D&D session.
previews.
I know
Just
what
like
the
a-
fuck was up with that. It was like 40 minutes long. Like,
The goddamn previews. They last forever.
Well, you're in luck. We did fuck all.
Yeah, we,
Yeah, we didn't do
we
anything.
haven't started yet.
yeah,
Like, we did a recap, and then we just
Yeah.
started fucking around.
Well, it's only been 10 minutes. Give yourself some credit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm so good at this time thing.
yeah.
What is
At
this
least he
tiny
showed up
thing?
much sooner than the last time.
Yeah, much sooner than Jacob showed up last time.
Both of them, because they were together.
That's because he aligned it to me.
I don't know what happened, but it's someone else's fault.
Also,
Whatever
really,
it is, it
it
wasn't.
really was down to the wire, by the way, in the previous Pyramid Lord thing. For those that didn't see the message, what would have happened if Bardic had successfully been used, right? Because the Pyramid Lord was vulnerable to fire, and because had a music doubles the result. If Zashi had rolled something like a 96, I would have done like 300 something, 384 damage, I believe, in one hit.
Fuck.
We gotta remember that combo for, like, next time, or a
For next
time.
year,
Yeah.
in game.
No, it didn't get used though, did it? It was just given.
It didn't get used, so we still have it's still in our back pocket as a thing to be done.
Yeah, we died before we could use it, so
Mhm.
still there.
I
Also,
think
I'm very
that
excited
Well, we're level 20.
Oh.
We need to have like round 2 with that guy.
Oh, did you see our magic item?
No, actually, what is it? Is it something I can use? Because I thought it would be.
It is, but you and
It
Jacob
is.
have to duke it out.
I think you and
Where is it?
who are you rolling it for? Jacob? Jacob, right?
Yeah, I brought it up again. Can you see it?
Yeah.
The aberration there has been edited, I see.
So if you hold on to a woman, you're good. You get advantage.
Wait, run that by me one more time.
You're holding on to me, you get advantage because it says you have advantage.
It was
on checks.
actually
Hold on to
the
object.
Slayer, not the Flayer. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, it needs to say Slayer's Ring of
Player's
Muscle.
ring, yeah.
There.
Yeah, it was.
Done.
Slayer's Ring of Muscle.
There we go.
It's pretty good, but I already have a strength save higher than this. It would be useful for my mental saves, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
you would like whenever you're forced to make those mental saves, you can just use your strength saves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This,
it's
is all,
pretty
this,
good.
is, this is only against magical effects, not against all mental saves.
Not against
Yeah.
super,
Still,
not
it's
not
useful.
super, not super special. What's it called?
Supernatural?
Natural.
Supernatural. There you go. That's
Correct.
Also, like,
I
I
love
think
Supernatural.
this would be pretty beneficial for me, specifically because I also have the Affliction Whip, so I increase my strength score by 5 every time.
just a quick question though. Your current attunement slots. How many do you have?
Let's see.
Wait, does this require attunement?
It requires attunement.
Where does
ring
it
does,
say
yeah.
that? No, it.
There's a bracket A on there.
Why does
bracket-
it say in details attunement not required?
Because Aqua doesn't do these.
Oh, Aqua's fault. Just because he's the DM
Okay, no
and he
wait,
does
but
all the things
seriously,
in
where does it
Foundry.
say attunement required? Sorry.
It's at the on the name. It says Slayer's Ring of Muscle. Then you see
Oh,
the
the
bracket
A.
A.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was looking at the actual details.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the name. Like all of the items on our.
With the
our
A, yeah. That understandable.
Okay, so
I
I
see.
do have the Ring of Jumping, which I can get rid of. I have Cube of Liquid Metal, Ring of Jumping, and the thing that gives me plus 10 HP.
This basically does the Ring of Jumping, so you actually
Yeah.
could just replace it.
Ring of Jumping, more like Jing of Rumping. Eh?
Yo,
So wait, are we
huge.
rolling to see who gets it, Jacob or Tony?
Let's
I
give it
mean,
to Joni.
Sure.
Sure.
All right, need or greed. Let's go, boys.
What are we rolling? The 100?
Yeah, that's
Sure.
classic.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a classic way of doing it.
I think we've been doing this at
I
D100.
give myself Bardic Inspiration for
Oh,
this.
fuck off. Still,
It didn't work.
it's fine. Get away.
Alright, it's all yours.
Tony holds on, like you try taking the ring off of Tony's hand. Their abnormally strong grip, their pinky strength just will not
Oh shit.
allow you to.
Oh my god,
It's like
it's
that
ring.
it's like that
Nice.
scene in Everything Everywhere. The fucking
Yeah.
pink
Yeah.
training.
Is there
I
a
like-
way that I can import the item directly?
I think you could click and drag it. You just have to make some modifications to it.
Hmm.
You should be able to click it and drag it from the item page and just put it in your inventory.
Oh yes, for those that didn't see, got a module that makes it so you can actually see what your like mods and stuff are named. Actually,
Oh, hold up. I think I saw that. I need to fix my stuff now.
yes, it's not too hard. I'll show you an example, but basically, next to any modifier or whatever that you have, all you have to do is just place it, like a little bracket next to it. So, as an example, right here's the damage formula for this
Mhm.
focus shot attack, and you'll see that it just has little brackets that say weapon and mod and magic, and you can just change those names to whatever. And you can do the same for any of the effects that you have as well.
On any mods or any damage dice? Hold on.
Why does it say like it says I'm dragging it, but also it doesn't do anything, so I'm so confused.
Like, update automatically? Because it won't update anything
Oh,
automatically.
okay. I added 3 times.
Oh, I
but
see, okay,
It's
so
under
that's-
weapons, not items, for some reason. It's under weapons, not equipment. That's weird.
Okay, that looks good. I think that looks good.
My strength is already like 18, so.
Nope.
There's a little bit of
So
waste.
strong.
Not,
Wow.
it's still better than Ring of Jumping by far for you. I mean, I think the Ring of Jumping is slightly more jumping, but you know the other benefits vastly outweigh.
I honestly never jump anyways, so it's like whatever.
And I'm never gonna jump again.
Do you want the ring of jumping? Anyone?
Any jumpers in chat?
Not this
I got
character.
I got full 2 slots.
I'll hold on to it in
Sure.
case I need to jump, I guess. Why not?
I will take that one. I'll take the ring out of your grip and give you another one.
Actually, hold on. How many slots should I have? 2 or 3?
3.
3. Okay. Then I do have a slot for it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess it
look
did
at
name.
that. That's nice. It's missing a +3 where that's coming from, but I mean that's an easy +3 and a +1.
Oh, I see. I think that's because those mods are inside the effects. I think I could fix those inside the effects tab, probably.
Yes, you can add the little brackets onto the ones and effects, and it actually makes them display now, which is nice.
Oh, cool. Well, 1 second, because I have a lot to fix then.
Yeah, because that's something I really missed from Roll20, right? Was we could always tell what the modifiers were, right? It was really convenient. They always had the little names next to them, and
Let me see.
Yep.
I'm just gonna test something because I'm silly and I don't understand.
definitely was something that Roll20 did a lot better, among a few
Hey,
other things.
Aqua, does the empowered attack have like any DC save, or is it just like any creature flies?
Any creature flies when you hit them, when you activate it.
For some
So
reason,
no
I don't
save.
see the Ring of Jumping in the items tab.
Well,
I may have
have
just
it.
forgotten to put it in. I mean, that's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Because I think it's nice just seeing your menagerie.
Of beasts.
Menagerie.
Menagerie.
Your menagerie.
Wow.
Menage.
Nicki Minaj.
The menagerie.
Dang it, now I have the
Has anyone else seen the D&D movie?
What's up?
Have you guys seen the D&D movie?
I need
I
to
have
go
not
see
yet,
it.
but I plan to. So please do
Maybe
not
it's too-
spoil.
Just
Dude, don't
broken
spoil.
one.
I'm
All
not
right.
gonna spoil. I just
Okay,
wanted to ask someone to see.
I placed it.
Arigato. Oregano.
Arigato. Thank
Arigato.
you.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo.
Domo? Cool.
Domo arigato,
Mm.
Mr.
Oregano?
Roboto.
Mr. Oregano.
Alright.
All I'm missing now is magic. Where's the magical property? Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, it doesn't let me roll damage when I did put the stuff in.
Are you all alright?
What the hell happened?
Fuck. If this is the kind of shit
Well,
you guys are fighting, no wonder Mimi kicked out.
You say that like you don't think she could have handled it.
You and I both know she is not the most durable of people.
That is true. She did die a lot, but you live and you learn.
You got
If
to
you live.
and learn.
Mimi
I
was
think
never
I
the
need
combat type.
Another rest. What do you guys think?
I would very much like to
Yeah, I could
rest.
probably use a nap.
You know what? You guys need a healer. My mercenary company has a few, so if you let me write a letter, I can probably get you guys a healer. I mean, it costs money, but if I just go out and take a few contracts, I can probably pay for her to show up if, you know, shares stuff with you guys that she finds here.
Imagine if we said no.
I was about to say that. You
Nah, it's
find
all
yourself
good.
trying to say no, like, no, why would we do that? You're clearly part of our party already, and we ventured for you for a short bit. You died with us. But you find yourselves unable to say those words. It's strange, really. It's almost like this is a scripted event.
Oh man, that darn Candlekeep
cutscene.
library.
It's a cutscene, guys.
Cutscene.
Those
It's
are
an
so-
unskippable cutscene.
Those are so deadly. We have to give it what it wants.
Oh, it doesn't show what's giving me my investigation checks.
No, it doesn't seem to work with ability checks yet.
Okay.
Maybe I can change?
Yeah,
I
it's
actually might
not-
straight
it's-
up
it's
ask the
not
developer of it to
letting
see if
me do
we can
shit
work for
here.
ability checks, honestly. Yeah, that'd
As
be
soon
nice.
as I type in the brackets, it just disables it, and I can't roll damage.
Well,
I love how my 3's a 20.
I think that means you need the skill to beat. I think that's the problem.
Skill issue. My 3 freaking turned to a 20.
There it is.
Huge. There's a problem. What appears to be the problem, Zashi?
Oh, it's not right.
Plus
No,
21.
no, you get a plus 21. Get a plus 21. Totally take that.
Are we having
21?
this
We
issue
take those, we
again?
take
Oh,
those.
man.
Oh wait, haven't we seen this before back with Ash? I
Yeah, it
think
was
we
with
did.
me, where for some reason, even though it was supposed to be plus modifier, it was interpreting it as a multiply. And I had to like go through and completely like delete the effect and then like manually re-enter it. Well, I had to go
Wait,
into the
what?
details of it or whatever and like change the modifier and then like put like plus whatever entire. It was really weird, but for some reason, even though it was very clearly saying it was additive and it was like +2 or whatever, it was doing like
I think you
times
changed it to
10 to
custom
that.
or
It was
something.
weird.
I think you changed it to custom or something like that.
I just remember struggling with it, that's all. And I was like, this is not working how it's supposed to. That's what I remember from it. And I was like, no, it says it's supposed to be additive, but it's not doing it.
I guess while they're trying to figure this out, Phoenix is while battered and bruised, tries to stand up like, duh.
Do we just long rest or do we need to use dice?
I'm gonna long. We all have exhaustion if we got revived, so I think we need to long rest.
We do need a long rest.
I think we
Yes,
have
but
like
we're also using our new fatigue system, so you would immediately become fatigued after taking that many long rests in a row. An extended rest may be in order again.
How does that make
That's
sense?
what we mean.
Alright,
yeah,
I don't
but
understand the new system at all, so somebody else has to decide what the heck we're doing. I don't get it.
We're taking the extended
a week
rest.
off.
Extended rest.
Okay,
How long
that's what
is-
it is.
How
Alright.
long is an extended rest?
A week.
1
A
week.
week.
all week.
Oh, okay.
Do
So
I
it's
just
like
say-
Because you need time to recover from the trials of
Every
being
time we
revived.
come out of a book, we take an extended rest.
There we go. Extended rest. Alright.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
Also known as we slept for a week. Yeah.
We slept.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, what you're able to do is you could take like 4 long rests, regular long rests in a row to get off the penalties from resurrection. However, you would then not have any long rests left to use. So
Not cool.
yeah, so probably just use the extended rest. That seems strategic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Right.
it's not gonna hurt Phoenix more to just continue working. I mean, basically, he left Watsar, and then like in about like a couple of hours, or maybe towards the end of the day, he returned. No, because it took
It's been-
Jacob a
it's-
while.
It
Yeah.
took 3 days for him to get to Aaron
Yeah.
Quill.
Yeah, so actually, Phoenix returns beat up and scarred.
Oh my god. Nice.
So what are we doing for our extended rest?
Well, Ra writes a letter possibly a couple back and forth, determining
Okay.
terms and stuff. And then eventually she kind of waits at the gates at some point, and along the road up comes Maestro.
I'm definitely writing a song about how dope and cool Aaron Quill is.
All right, hold on. Well, let's do one at a time so I can write everything down, and then Aqua can say whatever the heck we get or not.
I'd like to think also that everyone was kind of just still shaken up by the encounter, just all kind of walked home after kind of mumbling some greetings and things and bruising their hurt egos.
Right.
My ego is very hurt. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Phoenix has no ego. Phoenix has no ego.
Phoenix is ego.
Who's
He's the
ego?
law.
Phoenix.
I want to do a crime again.
All right, yeah, you were
Go
doing a
up to a
crime.
raccoon, go commit crimes.
If I go and do another heist during the extended rest, will I still have that exhaustion point on me, Mr. DM?
Sorry, what was your question?
If I were to go do another heist during our extended rest, would I have that penalty from the exhaustion?
Yes, you would maintain any penalties you attempted to do.
All right.
Okay, in that case, I will not do that.
We're all
No
chilling.
Yeah, we're chilling. Yeah, we're chilling.
I read that book. What was in the book?
Oh yeah, that was the thing to help you actually be a designer.
Yes, Malarka, reading through this book, it seems by all purposes, right, as far as you can tell, to just be a normal, actual book that one puts their face to and reads. And presumably you do so during this time. You read. But you notice that it's not simply just reading, but there are also exercises involved in practicing your techniques in order to make them better. Meaning that it's not just the diligence of actually reading through the words, but also in practicing the techniques that are actually outlined inside.
Oh god, you're going to school. Giving you homework.
Yes, you found a book that has homework in it.
Classic. Okay. So would it be reasonable to still perform these exercises while chilling this week?
Yes,
Or is it
and
too
we can. I don't think any rules required for that. It's just you're practicing, right? I mean, you got a week off, That's some time.
There are no weeks off for
Good
school.
day out. Court of Air's always open.
Spring break.
As long as you're not wasting your time in the bar drinking.
I can drink and read at the same time.
Actually, drinking sounds lovely. I'm gonna do that too.
You find me performing there talking about how dope and cool Mr. Quill is.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where Ross spends her time working on the letters and shit.
Phoenix is at his law office. It's practically where you find him most days at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
I think for most people, this week is like a maintenance week. Not like doing 2 active weeks of stuff in a row because that would take a while. But also, but also, I imagine that many of the benefits from the previous week, not only would be harder to do this week due to the penalties, but also it's harder to get like twice the results necessarily. Like you don't have a big case waiting for you right now, Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, unless that case about the family he just helped got robbed comes up, but
They might rely on the police for a bit first before heading over to detectives.
yeah, of course.
I would
Tony
like to
is
set.
mad. No, it's okay. Go ahead.
That's okay. You can go first. You're already talking.
Well, okay. I was just gonna say Tony is mad, so she's just gonna run laps around the library.
Tony is
and...
pissed.
Getting the
And-
anger out.
Yeah, she's gonna just run, cross country kind of thing, and let
I like
out
to
some
imagine-
steam.
I like to imagine it's not like the actual court of air, like you're just scaling the cliffs, just running around the actual library itself.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Nice.
Training arc.
Ash would like to two things. First, she's going to take copious notes about their encounter with the mummy to start writing an academic paper about it. And this being like the library and everything, I want to set the groundwork. So for next long rest, I'd like to start a peer-reviewed journal here, so that way we can get quality research papers coming out, peer-reviewed, very good stuff.
You consider the party your peers?
No, you have no.
Ooh.
Not for this. The journal's name is just going to be Arcana. Very high impact. We're going to work on it.
So you don't want the barbarian
I like
with
the idea
zero
that during his
arcana,
downtime,
zero investigation, and zero mental stats to help?
I like the idea that during Phoenix's long rest, he's like reading through your peer review, but he's not really doing anything about it in his office. Like he's sitting in his office just like a newspaper reading
There we
it.
go. Yeah, this is something I guess I'd like to bring up at like the pillars of pedagogy, to be like, we would like to start a paper here to bring very good business, I think, to the Candlekeep.
They go ahead and over at the pillars. The attendant in charge goes ahead and gives you a form. A couple pages worth of the things inside of it, including like your name, the title of what this publication would be, example excerpts about what they can expect. So you'd actually have to write some of the peer-reviewed articles in advance.
Yes, I was like, the expected paperwork of any academic institution. I'll be working on this for a while then.
Maintenance week. Anybody else doing anything notable during this maintenance week? Otherwise, we will probably skedaddle to the end of it.
I'm just
I think what Phoenix would like to do is that at this point he's actually going to like to train Watsar. Basically, he's going to be more of a hands-off and mostly just follow Watsar around as he's doing the menial jobs, and offer assistance when available. But that's pretty much it. So he's not going to actively do them himself.
Laying down the foundation.
Yes, similar to like what Ash is doing. He's laying down the foundation to train Watsar to be able to be more competent, much more competent.
I love how like my immediate thought was just like, I can't wait for like the inevitable bromance between Phoenix and Watsar. I don't know why it just crossed my mind. It's like, yeah, I ship it.
You're like, yeah, checks out.
All right, and Jacob, what you got?
I'm just playing in the bar, collecting rumors and, entertaining the masses.
What about
Eric? Well,
yeah, praising Eric Quill. What about Sashi?
Can we get some encores of the songs he used to resurrect us?
Oh my god, your sad songs that you played for 3 days straight.
My songs come from a very emotional place, and I'm just not in that place right now. So
I would not like to be in that place. God.
Maybe next time.
Understood.
Actually, Layla would just honestly just be like in and out of like the bath and steam house. She fucking needs it.
Poggers.
After getting like dusted, just feels wrong. Spa treatment. Let's go.
Spa day. That's fair.
Spa day, except it lasts a week.
Alright, with the maintenance week handled, the rigors of being returned from the dead have become a distant memory over the last few days, and you feel much more refreshed and back to normal.
Yeah, but Phoenix is gonna as soon as he feels better, he's gonna turn to his companion Watsar. All right, I gotta get back to the books. He steps out with his trench coat and hat and dramatically walks out.
How is there always wind when you do that?
Phoenix takes a long drag from his cigarette.
It's a billowing cloak. You can buy it for 300 gold.
Watsar looks to you longingly.
Oh my god.
The fanfic's
now.
already starting.
Wait,
Fanfic.
what is it? What does he look like?
He's
What's
the
up?
Big
hippo.
hippo.
He's a hippo.
He's
Oh,
Hippo.
that guy.
He's
Yeah,
an
the
antler hippo.
technically they're a GIF.
I thought it was a GIF.
It's
This is
called
Jeff.
GIF. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Oh, brain rot.
Lord.
Yeah,
Yes,
as people.
Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, as people are gathering, Ra walks up and she's like leading someone along. There is this 3-foot-tall woman in a
Oh.
white cloak with a black mask. Everything about her is either white or gray or black. She has no color except for pink eyes and a scar on
eye.
the side of her face.
This sounds
She's
very
albino.
familiar to the other character, but tricky.
Yeah, I like color themes, okay?
It's fine.
Oh, wait, I'm just writing down details. So, like, her eyes are pink? Wait, what?
Yes, she's
Okay.
albino.
Gotcha.
She's basically in grayscale except for her eyes, which are pink.
Yeah, look
Alright,
at
everything about her is grayscale except her eyes. Got
Chest
it.
piece.
and a scar over her left eye. A burn scar.
A bird.
Yeah.
Where you at?
This
Ra-
one's
gathering
Show
up here.
us.
And you said
Show
she's
us the
3
art.
feet short? Okay. Got it.
Oh.
Yeah, she is 3 feet short. She is a halfling.
Hmm.
Ra walks up. So after last time, pretty sure you guys need like an actual healer. No offense, Ash, but you
I'm
think
not.
other
I
shit to
do not take offense. I never said I was a healer. I have never claimed to be such. So no offense is taken here. Trust me.
In fact, I recall you saying, "Please, please, no, I don't want to heal." No.
I might have said that at one point. Yes.
Yeah, there's Maisha.
What's her name?
Crab.
Maisha.
Can you write it in chat?
Dum,
It's funny, Ash, because I also have healing, but no one calls me a healer.
I do not like that spellcasters are automatically pushed into this corner. I learn one healing spell and suddenly everybody wants me to revive them.
Ash begins to divulge about the tyranny of it's like racism basically.
You just see Phoenix nodding in agreement off to the side.
Maisha
You know-
quietly nods as well. Ra
Yeah,
says she's kind of
Sorry.
quiet, but yeah, she does good work.
Phoenix aggressively approaches and says, "Greetings, I am Phoenix Down, Detective of Waterdeep. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Maisha, healer cleric.
Phoenix
Healer
extends his
focused
hand.
cleric.
for
Maisha looks up at this tall automaton.
He's not that tall. He's about normal size.
Well,
Well,
how
she's
tall is
2 feet
Phoenix?
tall.
Hold up. What did I roll for Phoenix? Give me 1 second. Didn't actually check.
Wait a minute.
I don't imagine him to be
Phoenix,
an absolute
8'9".
gargantuan. Hold on, let me check. I know I rolled this. I did not roll his height. Oh god. Hold on, let me roll for his height.
How do you roll your height? I want to roll my height too.
I was gonna put it on 5e tools and then
Yeah.
we go to-
Warforged have a range of heights that you can kind of use as a baseline.
Depending on
to start
which model they are.
So let me see. Warforged and heights. What do we got here? Height modifier, let's go. He is okay, maybe a little bit taller than that.
Let me look at your house here, right?
3 feet.
3 feet.
He's 3 feet tall.
No, hold up. I should
Okay.
take it.
My man's built like a hobbit.
Hey, Flatfoot.
Actually, it seems that the range for heights is actually just around 6 feet. Oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. He's actually his base height is 5'10". Okay, that's what it is. He's 5'10".
Yeah, you're about twice as tall as she is. She is 3 feet tall.
Okay, fair enough.
Why did
Yeah.
I find Warforged on 5e tools for because they were updated, right? Weren't they?
Yeah, they
Doesn't
were.
exist.
It's not the
My fault.
Eberron one, right? It's
It is the
It-
Eberron one.
It is Eberron.
It should be the Emerald one. Yeah,
Eberron
that's
right
like
for the last war. I thought there was one that
Yeah.
didn't have the same things on this. Oh no, I'm thinking about how there was like the one with the switching chassis. That's my bad. That's what I was.
Yeah,
thinking.
that was the Unearthed Arcana one.
Yeah. Base height was 5'10" for them. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically base height. He is 5'10". He is not gargantuan. He's basically average height. Either way, he still extends his hands, and if you don't take it, he's just like,
Maestro will kind of look all the way up at you. Sigh, reach up a hand, and she's got these gray gloves on. She'll shake your hand.
with his brown gloves, he shakes your hand.
Everything is just grayscale.
Yeah, as he just says, like I look forward to seeing your work.
Hopefully you don't need to.
Oh, trust me, honey. We gonna need to.
That's what I'm here for.
What is she?
All right, now I do believe
Ra actually
probably...
Ra will be like, and in order to get here, I have to go take care of other contracts back home. So I will see you all later. Stay alive, fuckers. And nods, waves, and heads out, giving Jacob a fist bump on the way.
Before you're into bleeding,
I do that
trying
thing,
to write
like,
a note for disturbing the peace with your curse words. All right. Well, I suppose once everyone has gathered here, we can go ahead and start making our way towards the next book. Now, if I recall, our agreement was to go to the the marooned ship again.
Right.
That's a good story. I like that one. It's got
It's
pirates and it hasn't killed anyone. As I can
Excuse
recall.
me? No, it has.
Hold up. Wait.
Kind of, technically.
Yeah,
It's
but like
killed-
every book killed
It's
Mimi,
killed
so,
both
like-
Mimi and it's killed Maiev.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Who's- who's-
Jacob's like, what a great book.
What a lovely book. What a harmless, wonderful, pleasant book. Laughs and dead friends.
Either way, I suppose we can just go. We can go ahead and start entering then. I'll fill you in on the details, Maeshra.
Mm.
And I guess
Ra did.
yeah. Oh, you already did? Okay. Like, oh, that is good. So do you already know all the details in regards to the book?
What she knew.
Phoenix will nod.
Phoenix, in profound wisdom, considers that secondhand knowledge might not be as effective since they went through literally half of the book.
Yeah, probably Phoenix will fill in the rest of the details that maybe Azrael basically may or not found out or known. So basically more yeah, just like more standard issue information that he himself knows that definitely Mimi would have known. Therefore, I don't have to repeat all this to you. Boom. Done.
Thanks.
It is my pleasure.
I like you. You don't talk much.
Oh.
No, I mean, like, seriously. It's awesome because, like, there's no point for words. I'd rather just punch you.
Nods.
See?
Marsha just nods.
You guys don't get it.
I don't get it.
Gasp.
I understand the need for action, but sometimes words need to be spoken.
No.
One time.
Just a brief word. No.
No.
Just I reject your reality.
Yeah.
I refuse to acknowledge this.
Layla to Maestro, just go ahead and just say, it's great to have you on board.
I get it. On board because it's a ship. Oh my god, you're so
Oh
clever.
my God.
Nice, nice. That was very intentional.
Stop that, Ace! Where are you?
Ace, you're not in this book, right?
You're not in reality. He ran up out the confines of the book itself.
Phoenix approaches the book with the maroon ship, picks it up, and walks over to Jacob to hand it to him.
Thank you.
Take me away.
Take me away.
Secret place.
A secret place.
Alright, you go ahead and get the book cracked open and are befuddled with that familiar feeling. Befuddled with that familiar feeling? Beseeched with that familiar feeling of whether or not you can go to the left or go to the right, although it seems that you have already made your decision. Forward.
Aha, we voted beforehand.
Forward and back and forward and back.
And so you get the sensation of almost entering water without actually being wet, as a torrent of water transports you over into the story, once again, of the Maroon ship.
Oh,
What chapter
Okay.
are we in?
Hold on,
just
let
see
me check.
I just see
Three.
open scene as the first thing that come to mind, just like little like under
It
the
should be
sea
chapter
jingle.
3, so.
I guess knowing. Oh no, I'm just trying to make sure that Eyes of the Eagle is definitely equipped. Yes, it is. Okay. Phoenix would have definitely taken that one over Finder's Glove and the maroon ship.
It's a calm day out on the open ocean, looking over at your provisions. They seem to be well stocked and in order as well. I've been informed that I'm actually missing your prisoner, who is still here in the back of your ship.
We also have our captured creature as well.
Yeah, our Maiev creature.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Me.
Yeah, Maya is the manta ray.
The manta ray thing, yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Its name.
We're not letting her go.
Oh.
Let me see. I can scroll back up one sec. It's been a
It
while.
was like a big. It's like a big X name or something like that.
Yeah, I had an X. Oh, Ixit. That's what it was.
There. It is.
Technically, Ixit chattel, but I just called them Ixits for short.
Yep.
Ixalatl?
So that one should also probably be in a cage, actually.
Do we have a cage?
Damn.
You notice that it's
that?
already in a cage.
Oh.
Not a very strong one, mind you. It's made out of like wood. Somebody clearly fashioned this out here while they were in the open sea.
Oh. Tears. Tears.
Damn.
It hurts every time. Does the soft wagon seem any calmer than he was before? Or is he still just basically shouting in vanities for all we can tell?
They just kind of seem to be sitting there looking out into the ocean.
He's given up at this point. God.
That's fair.
It's like these people have kidnapped me and they're never letting me go.
So, someone remind me again, what was our plan?
I believe we're currently traveling to the City of Darkness.
Oh my
not
god.
a- That's still a foreboding name, I remember. Layla kind of just like looking over at the Sahag
God,
and also
I mean-
what would you call it again? Like the
Ixit.
Ixit.
Yeah.
Ixit.
Why do we still have the Sahagan with us? I forgot about that as well.
He's a wanted criminal, so we're picking him in.
If I may offer another perspective,
mean-
it's also simply because the opportunity has not come up to do anything else. We took him with us off the first island, and then considering the urgency, grief, what have you, that we left the last atoll, well, what else will we do with him right now?
Fair enough.
Throw him in the ocean.
And
Well,
what of our companion
William?
who is in this current state?
also throw them in the ocean.
Well, I mean, we don't.
Perhaps
Yeah.
don't do that.
We
Let's not do that.
can
Is
hope
it-
that perhaps a greater restoration or similar might be able to
For
return
creatures
Maya
usually,
to us.
for creatures turned in such a way, usually stuff no lesser than that of a wish spell is usually needed.
All right, that's it.
A
yeah.
wish, you say?
However, I do believe we may have something that may be useful in this type of scenario.
That we do. I have it on me right now. As Layla will hold up the cylinder.
Wait, what was that tone? Wait, hey, what? You want to fight
Get
about
out of here, A's.
Layla's holding up the.
You do successfully pull out the cylinders from your pack.
Sorry, I pulled
There
up
they
the
are, all
cylinder.
Is it made out of denim or like what's
Denim.
No,
Oh,
you're
God.
thinking of the gene litters.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't like that.
Thanks,
they're
I hate
made
it.
they're made out of silicone, so they can, vibrate easily.
Thanks, I hate it.
Oh,
So,
Why would you say this out loud?
if we, from what I was reading, Jinns often are a bit enthusiastic when it comes to granting wishes. It helps with their prestige. And, well, it seems as though they are vain. I could activate one of these and we could test this out on our companion to see what the results could be. Otherwise, we could hold on to it and save it for later. The choice is, I leave it up to the group.
I see no reason not to at this time to trust you in regards to this. If you feel as though this may be necessary to save your friend, then by all means. No, wait, hold on.
Our friend.
Sorry, wrong friend. Wrong friend. Sorry, it's because I forgot Layla was attached to the other person.
Nikkei.
Nikkei, yes. That's why. That was my bad. But Phoenix will just say, yeah, our friend. In this case.
Comrade. Our friend.
So how do you
Comrade.
get these jinns to come out? Have you looked into that?
Just let them know they're safe to say that they're gay.
It's like, hang on, actually, do I know how to do that? One second. Instructions are, they're on scrap on the side. So, Layla's gonna check to the side, see the instructions here.
Hold on, let me read this.
Yeah, we gotta read the troubleshooting first.
You're like, I know better. I read instructions before attempting to use something.
Okay,
Is
Layla
that
will
the
read the
label?
side. What does it say to do?
It looks like you can't read the side by itself. You would need to roll it in some kind of dust or clay in order to make it actually legible to see the inscription.
Oh, dust.
It seems like something they probably would have done earlier, though.
Okay, if done earlier, presumably, like that just seems like it would have been a strategic decision at some point.
Yep, it makes sense that Layla would have done that.
You would have seen that the instructions it says are along the line following. Let me see if I still had it written down. I hope I didn't accidentally lose these because I know there was at one point, when we moved over from the other session. I
Was
may
it
not
Dylan?
have been wise enough to keep it on hand.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find it. 1 second.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time.
That's okay, I'll just summarize it. I don't think it's worth getting the exact wording. You see that roughly each cylinder seems to have some kind of poem associated with it.
Oh.
I no longer have the original poems I wrote on hand because I messed up. What you do see is the following. That one of the first cylinder that you have notes that the genie within, all you must do is simply tap the top of the tube 3 times in order to summon it.
Okay.
And it
Nice.
will attempt to grant your wish.
Okay, that sounds rather straightforward. Do we want to do that right now?
Give it a try.
Okay.
Give it a
Layla,
Give it a go.
I heard an what's up?
She said
Oh.
shrug. verbally said shrug.
Yeah, Maestro's like, careful. Gen tricky.
You don't have to tell me that, as Layla is going to, with her fingernail, just tap, tap, tap on the top.
Okay, one moment. As you go and you tap, 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 a torrent of water, far larger than what should be able to be contained within, spews forth from the Gillinder as it coalesces into the air like a little water spout that continuously emits, still connecting to the tube. You see a creature emerge from it.
Ah, it's a Marid.
Hello? I'm here to grant your wish. I think.
Yes.
That's what I'm here to do.
Yes, that's what you've been summoned to do. Now, do you see this Ixit creature right here? As they will kind of just gesture towards it. There's no confusion between like this and the Sahagin.
Mhm. Oh, yes, I see them. That's a thing.
Okay.
It looks weird.
Yes, well, this creature was our friend until it got affected. It's a long story, but as they will kind of like look over, they look kind of looking over and just saying like, oh, how should we like frame the wish? Actually, should we like?
It was a poison, if I recall, initially, or a disease. I'm sorry. It was our friend was touched by a disease that has cursed them into this form.
Oh my. So, you're saying that simply using remove disease might fix them? I can do that. That's easy
No,
enough.
I'm not saying that.
We need nothing short of a witch, which you are capable of.
Yes. That is certainly. Phrase your wish, and I shall attempt to as best as I can.
We wish for our friend to return back to their original form.
Alright.
That would turn them into a baby.
By the way, Phoenix is definitely whatchamacallit, inciting this guy at every turn because he's starting to be very shady.
Yes, looking at them, Phoenix, they seem very earnest in everything that they say, including the palpable concern on their faces. They put their hands in almost like a wavy motion toward the Ixit there. By the power beseeched in me, return to thy original form! You see the Ixit move and grow for just a little bit, and then just kind of stay the same.
Oh dear.
Okay, so, that problem has emerged that I believe may be significant. I am not strong enough to do that.
I beg your pardon.
I am not strong enough to do that. I'm still practicing. Would you like something else? That attempt was on the house. It doesn't count.
Phoenix is still looking at this guy. He's still being absolutely earnest.
They look very, very
flabbergasted right now.
Might I ask, most noble and growing more powerful by the day, genie, when do you think you would be strong enough to cure this condition?
Well, I get stronger as I continue to grant more wishes, so I'm certainly looking to in all of your best interests here. I simply do not have the power to do this. I am sorry.
What
if I
kind
were,
of
I would.
abilities would you say that you currently possess, then?
Let's see. Are you looking to find something? I can do that. Removing disease. That's what I was asking earlier. If you're looking to have your bodily parts restored, that would be within my capabilities also.
Perhaps. Perhaps another thing. Perhaps a more simpler wish. Phoenix points towards the Sahwagan. Can you make him speak common?
Oh, certainly. That's easily within my capabilities.
Are you certain?
Now, as much as I do want you to ask me for this wish, and I really do, trust me, I do. If you're really looking to bring that thing to its original form, you could ask one of my siblings in the other tubes. They might be of more use and assistance than us. They're stronger than me.
I see.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna make sure one certain thing before we start asking wishes from you or your friends. Is that what you said? Friends or brothers? I forgot.
Brothers,
The
siblings.
Brother. Sorry, his siblings. Yeah, from you or your siblings.
It's more of a maternal thing, but I'm sure you understand the distinction.
Yes, I understand.
Mm.
Now, are there a limit to these wishes?
I only have one wish to grant, and then I will lie dormant for quite a bit.
How
And
long
what-
is a bit?
I don't know, only a year? It's not that long.
Oh.
I see. And what happens after you grant this creature the ability to speak common? Are you set free? Do you lie dormant for a
You have to
year?
rest.
I simply wait in the tube until somebody else summons me. And, ideally, if I get strong enough, then maybe I'll be a bit more respected back on the elemental planes, but, it's only a few hundred years till I'm probably strong enough. It's really not that long.
Phoenix
I
is
see.
gonna turn to his group before he just actually makes this wish, as he just says, "Do you think we want to hold off on this wish until later, or is that one sufficient?"
I think we should ask him to help us throughout our battles.
I think we should wait for the wish. I don't think it's this creature being able to speak common. It doesn't seem like too high of a priority, if I'm being fairly honest.
I
Okay.
agree with that statement.
Hmm.
I was merely
Nice.
testing the amount of wishes capabilities and how long it will take till the next one.
Of course. Yes. Layla's gonna go ahead and turn to the Marid. What is your name, by the way?
Oh, my name? Oh, give me a second. I go by many different ones.
Looks up name.
It's like as Layla's just yes, I don't blame him. Genies normally not only have like their name, but also a list of a myriad of titles.
So we have to make sure of one thing first. Since he is clearly not as strong as we'd hoped at the moment,
Mhm.
then we should maybe not try to be too reserved with the wish that he's able to grant. Not that I'm saying in this case that we grant the wish to speak to the Softwagon. I am merely only speaking of this is not the last. This wish should not be a last-ditch effort.
Of course. We can certainly use his abilities a bit more liberally.
My name is Norulus. But you can call me Na.
Nah.
His name is Nah. Got it.
Naluris. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Naluris. We will certainly call upon you at some other time.
Oh yes, certainly try to before you lose the tube. Or keep it around long enough. I'll be around for a while. No rush. Please, take your time.
What do you mean lose a tube?
Oh, drop it in the water or something. I don't know how long it'll be till somebody finds it at that point. That would just be sad. No, I wouldn't hold it against you, though. It happens. But please don't.
I'm careful, don't worry. As
Well-
Layla will kind of just hold the tube up for him to go back inside.
You have to tap the other side 3 times.
Oh, thank you. As Layla will do so.
No, you got the rhythm wrong. It's not like a ba ba ba. It's more like a ba ba ba.
Ba ba ba.
No. You were almost there. Just, you'll get it. Trust me. Just
Ba ba ba.
once more. You almost had it that time.
Ba ba ba.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh, I'm loving that.
Yes.
Now that I believe we at least understand that. Well, how about let's look at the other 2 siblings?
I was almost tempted to throw in the tube into the water after that one. But Layla will she'll kind of put the Nas tube aside here, and she'll go ahead and look to their other tubes and see what the instructions on that one are.
Assuming you already looked at them.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but we might not want to get our hopes up.
You tap the next tube 3 times, and a plume of smoke emerges out of this tube. Initially, coalescing into almost like a suit-like cloud upon which another creature stands on top of, rather than forming, though the tube is still connected to this plume of smoke.
An Ifrit.
A ceremonial sword lies by the scabbard on their side as they sheath it after appearing. And then they put on some glasses.
Layla looks to the creature, then back to Zashi, then back to the creature.
Good day, sir.
Really quickly, what
Greetings.
kind of creature was the first one again?
It was a Marid.
A Marid.
And this is
You have summoned Ravaxis. How would you like to detail your wish today?
looks back over to the group. Same as before with restore Maiev to her original form.
Yes.
Okay, so Layla will turn back. Greetings, Ravaxis. We have a wish for you, indeed. We ask that you return.
Hold on, I do not accept verbal requests. As they reach down into your side and give you a pen and a paper.
Oh.
Please detail, in immaculate detail, what it is you would like.
Let me handle this.
Layla just like under her teacher's. I hate genies.
Phoenix is like so good at this kind of stuff. He reads like law to the back of back of his hand.
that is true. That is true.
Phoenix, looking over the front page of the document, you notice various rules and regulations and other stipulations and formatting requests necessary in order to get this wish verified.
This man
He's
has
like
the
looking.
inside.
He's like looking over it with absolute precision, just like in robotic detail. As he flips to the next page, clicks the pen, and starts writing in absolute meticulous detail the exact wish that he wants.
All right,
Which
make
is-
an investigation check. Also for going over the fine print, as it were, and we'll also use this for writing this fine print.
35.
Yeah,
Let's go.
The legalese here is of no surprise to you, Phoenix. Although, as you're writing your request and checking what might be possible within the stipulations, it does somewhat seem that, unless this is phrased just perfectly, it might not quite work. It looks like, based on the powers indicated within this incredibly long document, which just keeps going, right? There's nothing about this that suggests it should extend longer than a page, but as your eyes keep going down, it just keeps reading and reading and reading and reading and reading pages and pages of legalese and technical jargon and documentation. It looks like the most, based on what you can see here, is that they're certainly stronger than the Merid, but they can only partially revert their form back. They will retain features of being an Ixit in their original form.
What features?
Yeah, like Phoenix, as Phoenix gets to that particular detail, he will look over to the Ifrit, as he will just say, like, I'm noticing that there are some interesting particularities in regards to your contract. That he lifts up the contract and points to the section that's really pertaining to the information that really matters.
Section 45, Clause 7.
Exactly, something like that. Exactly like that.
Right.
As he points to the Ifrit. I have some questions in regards to this clause here.
They look like they're just waiting.
They don't
Right.
do verbal, they do it written.
Just make the wish. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Don't
For
say that,
one,
don't say
she
that.
could
No.
desire to still eat our flesh or something. She could not have all of her faculties. This is not a very good sign. I would perhaps ask Raxus if his other sibling has equal power or more than his.
What
Let me just make sure-
What features exactly?
Yeah,
That's
let
all.
me make sure of one certainty in regards to this. what features when we're talking about the restoration of a creature back to their original form, what features of the creature that they currently represent will remain?
Ravaxis looks almost annoyed. It's detailed over inside of subsection letter A, line 202, part 6.
Phoenix goes to that exact section.
Alright, looking over the section, you see that Phoenix, it depends entirely on how the wish is written and the language, the precision by which you request what features you would like to keep, because it is just out of the scope of them to return them to exactly their original form. So they'll try the best they can within their powers, given what is prioritized within the writing of the wish.
Prioritize
can
mine.
DM show a picture of the Ixit again?
I'm guessing what it's gonna happen is either that, like, Maev's mind is in an Ixit form, or Maev's form has an Ixit's mind.
Exactly.
I mean,
Or you can get
Well,
both.
in
You
Ixit-
have to be incredibly detailed. Basically, you have to go almost above and beyond. The real question is, how much do you guys trust Phoenix's ability and legal jargon to make such a request?
I 100% trust that.
If there's
What is
anyone
the
who...
check, by the way?
But, however, like, I'm also noticing that, like, these the Gillanders themselves, so I'm guessing that, like, maybe the last Gillander has, like, the strongest brother. And I'm also thinking...
It'll be medium.
Oh, what's up?
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna guess it'll be between the other two, just as a DM troll.
Like,
I mean, but that's also like, I mean, at this point, it's just conjecture, right? Like, is there any reason why we can't just check on the other Gillander and then bring this guy back out, if need be?
what I'm also thinking too is just like if they vary in strength potentially, because I know that also like our plan was, or at least what I had in mind, was that we could use our wishes to restore some of our companions back, but it seems as though like we only get like one person who is like 100% of the way back, if you understand what I'm saying. If this last one's gonna be like perhaps like the most normal wish there is.
Well,
Does that
I
make
mean,
sense,
I'm gonna go ahead and guess before we even get to like Jin that the last one's also probably gonna have something very peculiar at how they make these wishes. So right now, luckily, this Ifrit's basically Phoenix's go-to Jin at this point. But like the other one, you can almost say is like the newbie Jin. So basically, they can do like probably like verbal requests, but they can't do all of them because they certainly just lack the power to do all the really good ones. This one you have to be very meticulous and you have to be like absolutely certain how you write your wish. The last one, for all we know, is going to be something completely out there. For all we know, like maybe you have to make your wish in song and dance or something like that.
Jacob?
Looks the
which would be Jacob, obviously. But you see my point.
Yes, quite the conundrum.
So like, knowing that Maev is both a Druid of the Moon and a Shifter in race, if there is having physical attributes of an Ixit, you know this will probably not be an issue.
Yeah, I guess Phoenix would remember that. So I mean, up to you. Like as I said, it depends on how much you guys absolutely trust Phoenix's ability to write legal jargon.
That's not a question.
If there's anything I trust you to do, it's legal jargon.
Maev would kill to have like this fucking cool stabby tail. That would be dope as fuck.
Okay, so basically that's how Phoenix is gonna do it then. So Phoenix is gonna go ahead and write the legal documentation. He's gonna make this thing like pages long. He's gonna detail an absolute in an immaculate detail. Because of his keen mind, he definitely still remembers how Maev looks and their personality, how they were. He'll also write like in terms of like something. He'll probably even put like a stipulation that if there was like a particular faculty that that they wanted to keep of the Ixit that they can't, of their choosing.
A particular faculty.
or something like that.
So,
Obviously,
Basically, what you're saying is Phoenix is writing a prompt into an AI generator, and
Mhm.
is just like,
Which
But
Phoenix
AI
is the
generators are very,
generator.
very generous, right? Especially like things like ChatGPT, they're very generous about how they interpret your requests.
Yeah. But like, think of it more like a ChatGPT 4. But either way, basically, Phoenix is trying to be as thorough and detailed as possible with this request, and he'll make it as long as necessary.
You have some time. The boat's just kind of sailing along, right? The Ifriti with our glasses on just kind of like stands there with our eyes closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
While waiting.
All right. So, what check do I make here, or is it still bopping off of that 35 there?
Oh, first, did you want to check the third Jin first? As I believe that's what Ash had suggested.
I mean, up to you guys.
I don't think it's necessary
It-
because even if it
yeah.
is louder, like, or not louder, but better, we should use that for something else.
In the meantime, I point at you and scream, "Guidance!"
Oh my god.
All right. I guess.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to check the other one, right?
I mean, Phoenix has to write this paper. You can probably pop the other Jin at this
Okay.
point.
So Layla will go ahead and look over to.
So Phoenix will be on
the
the side of the boat, writing the legal jargon.
Yeah, Layla will go ahead and say, "Okay, while we are writing our request, I humbly request that you return to your cylinder."
As with just a grunt, they return back. You didn't even have to tap the other side 3 times.
Thank God. Okay, as Layla will go
I'm
ahead.
glad no one has accidentally said "I wish" during this.
And I wish this boat would go faster.
Just
We could use that for the first guy.
It just goes straight down.
Okay, so Layla will go ahead, pull out the last cylinder, and
Wait.
granted,
Why would we?
yeah, tap.
What were you
Sorry,
trying to
what's
say?
up?
Maestro was saying something. What was that?
If written one will work, why use the other as well? If both will work, what will we use the second on?
Well, the great thing about having these is that we don't have to decide right now.
Exactly.
Beep.
Mm.
I think
Right
they're
now-
just exploring options from the sounds of it.
What would we wish for?
We
This
still have
boat
others
to
that
get
we need
there
to save.
faster. I get seasick. I don't like being here.
We have others that we need to rescue from these books.
Ultimately,
Possibly them.
Mm.
yes. So it's important to assess how powerful these genies are. I'm actually a bit confused. These are referred to as Jillenders, but we have not seen a single Jin yet.
We're being
Unless-
reductive, and probably racially insensitive.
I guess at some point you do tap the thing, the Jin.
Yeah.
As
Layla's gonna go ahead and just tap, yeah, the third one.
earth and sand pour out of this so heavily, it's nearly
Down.
pushing you backward, Layla.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
And little sparkles and cracks appear throughout the air as you can just feel the power radiating off of this Tao.
Oh yeah, Dows.
Whoa,
That's a doubt.
That's cool.
As-
Earth
I like-
Genie.
I like that art a lot. Although the hammer head does look like it's from RuneScape a little bit.
As
I am Vistara. Please phrase your wish, and I can grant you anything of your heart's desire.
Oh, hold on.
Which is her name was?
This is tempting.
Asara.
Asara.
I'm not saying this out loud, but we could just wish for the treasure of Captain Tortuga right now.
No,
What if
God,
we
Jake.
wished for a really
Phoenix, with your
nice-
abnormally high insight, even with just those first introductory words, something is working Leo at the back of your mind.
Phoenix will pause his writing of legal documentation. He'll physically look up at the Tao. I'm sorry. Can I may have misheard you. Can you repeat the statement that you just uttered?
I can grant you a wish of any of your heart's desire. Whatever it is you want, I have the power to grant.
Hold on, guys.
I guess not that Phoenix is looking at them directly. Is there anything pinging off of Phoenix, or do I have to roll an insight on this?
Go ahead and roll insight.
Layla was already like kind of sketch about that.
Hey guys, we could get Alan back.
You know what this is, Phoenix. You've sensed it from demons and beings before. There is maliciousness in the heart of this Tao.
I don't like how you're wording that.
Who dare are you?
Just a detective.
And we are the ones who summoned you.
Well, then get on with it. What is your wish? I can grant anything you want.
Phoenix leans in closer to Layla. I do not trust this one,
I don't trust any of them.
but this one in particular.
She'll nod. As Layla will kind of first of all just like look over to her and just say, I have a simple question for you. Are you the mightiest of your siblings?
The mightiest of my siblings? I'm the mightiest of all of the genie within my cohort.
Mightiest of all. Do you mean to say that you are the mightiest of the Tao?
Certainly. If not up there, then very close.
Wait, looking over to like Phoenix to see like if anything is if he's getting like a tick from that.
Do I continue with that insight check?
Yes, you're still kind of just rolling with it, right? It's not like your suspiciousness to them is being ill received because you've already indicated your distrust.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're something about this individual just reeks of. It's in such a stark contrast to Merritt from earlier that seems so gentle. But their power is certainly no joke, as you can tell, Phoenix, just by looking at the air around them.
Phoenix will probably just say this. Like, you are certainly truthful in the words of how strong and capable that you are. However, I have a feeling that any words that we usher you in terms of a wish, you'll just bend them and just twist them into your own malicious thing. I do not trust you, frankly speaking.
Please, I'm a genie. I'm here to grant wishes. It's not what I do. You can say what it is you want, and I will help you. Really, it's beneficial to both of us. They're lying.
You're no better than just lying demons.
Hey, can I
Phoenix.
wish for a sandwich?
Phoenix steps back and starts trying to. Phoenix steps away from this conversation as he proceeds to just continue writing the legal documentation.
Oh, do not trust your paranoid friend over there. You're looking for something, and I can grant it. A treasure you're looking for, maybe?
What did you say your name was?
Ashara.
Well, Ashara, we are the owners of the mighty Gillanders. As Grimace is saying that a little bit. And we simply wish to know... Sorry.
Not that word.
We simply wish to acquaint ourselves.
Don't use
say
wish.
Don't say wish.
Not with this
You're
one.
right. You're right. Okay, you're right.
Not
Sorry.
with
Like
this
it's
one.
it's literally just me using like it's literally just English. My bad.
Say what? We want to know.
Mm-hmm. Or we are looking to.
Yeah, looking to. Yeah, it's probably better. That's better.
Maestro
We
will
are acquaintancing ourselves with the beings in these Gillanders. Actually, once again, grimaces.
Well, allow me to say the following. I can tell. I can see. This one over here, their body is not right. Oh, what a poor little form they've been placed into. I could fix that for you. You just have to say the words. What if
I
not
can
that?
fix your
What is
attitude
it?
with a couple of punches.
What is something that you wish you had?
as Layla just kind of like just chiming in, she'll go ahead and just say, or she'll look over to like Phoenix, who is writing this, and it looks like it looks like that he's gonna frame that wish for Maiev, right? Like
Yeah,
you're
he
not
is.
wavering at all. Yeah, Layla
No,
looking
he's
back.
not wavering.
Yeah, Layla looking back over to the Dow, and we'll go ahead and just say, a task that we have deemed suited for your brother, the Ifrit. We wish to assess your strength. Fuck.
No!
Sorry.
No!
It's the language.
This
Time
guy.
rewinds.
Rewind.
Now we know if we ever get
We
a genie
assess-
in real
we
life
assess-
that you're not allowed
we
to
ass-
talk to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
fair
right?
enough. We assessed your strength, and that will be all. Return to your Gillinder.
I will await your wish.
Okay, guys, if
I
we
just-
don't
I
trust
use-
that one,
I used wish so much in like my actual language. It's like fuck. Because when you sound polite, it's just like you say like, oh yeah, I wish they were this, like, you know, like.
Well, that's why Jacob's keeping quiet, because he is not a precise talker. And neither am I, for that matter.
okay, guys, if we don't trust that one, how bad can it fuck up a honey roasted turkey and cheese sandwich?
I beg your
It's the
pardon.
most delicious sandwich you eat, but it will kill you or something. I don't know.
It's so good you
If
could
it's
die.
that delicious, it's kind of worth it, I think. I don't know.
All right, I guess as we're still sailing for the direction of the City of Darkness, at some point does Phoenix eventually finish writing that document?
Yes, you've got time. So takes about good 2 hours. There's a lot of writing to do here.
Mm-hmm. And Phoenix also checks his own work as with his own keen mind to visually go through every page as he's going through. And as soon as he pretty much finalizes the documentation, he's just like he nods at his thing, and the thing is like maybe like several pages long, maybe like. How long are typical law case files written?
The typical law case can be quite long, yeah.
Yeah, so basically he'll like maybe like 50 pages long. he like done.
So
I
since
imagine it
you-
looks like a patent where it's like these specific claims and like
So,
this thing.
before we, and also I'd say that like if it doesn't mess with like the Agilinders themselves, like Layla would be marking like, okay, this is like the Marid, this is the Ifrit, and this is the Dow. None of them are Jinn. Like what the hell?
Separate pouches for each.
Yeah, separate pouches, or just in a way that they are identifiable, so we don't get them mixed up, because that'd be awkward. It's like, okay, let's go talk to the nice Mara, and then all of a sudden we're just like with the Dow, it's like, ah, crap.
Like
I
the
know,
three
right?
Gillinders with the three not genies who were originally caught there by Jake Gillinder Hall.
You know, the funny thing is, the Marids are technically the No, I think it's the Jinn. The Jinn are the nicest genies, and then like ongoing, it'll be the Marid, and then
Yeah.
Ifrit, and then the Dow are literally the worst. They are literally slavers. They are the worst.
Layla doesn't trust like any genie, to be honest. But
Alright,
so,
yeah,
so,
Phoenix,
so,
Phoenix presents you the 50-page documentation. Hand this to the Ifrit.
so before Layla will take it, as she'll go ahead and just say, a quick question, Mr. Down, before we begin. You read over the entire terms and conditions that the Ifrit set forth.
That is
yes?
correct. I did.
Did you happen to glance when it would be able to cast a wish like this again?
Was that particular clause written anywhere in the Ifrit's documentation?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
When will be the next time the Ifrit will be able to grant a wish?
Based on the documentation outlined, also a year.
Yeah, Phoenix will state as such.
I see.
But
I
while I'm present, and this is a great time while I'm here, not we have much else to do while out at sea. And
Very
this is once again to save a friend.
Okay. So
The
Layla,
Ifrit-
after s-
The
She'll go
Ifrit
ahead.
appears yet again with the Gillender activated. This time,
you f-
as they pop out, they have a desk.
This is Layla just seeing this, just like a blink, and then just thank you for your patience. We have our request right here.
They with like aim their hand over and a sparkle of flames, your papers are engulfed and brought over to their desk. That was like a telekinetic fire, as they set their glasses on and begin reading through. While they're reading, Phoenix, what did you prioritize on what to keep for Maev?
Definitely their original form. That they're definitely not going to be in any shape, like in terms of like their, wisdom and
prioritize their mental faculties.
yeah,
Their
prioritize mental
magical
faculties.
capabilities.
Yeah, and remaining true to what they originally were, like being a shifter and everything. Those were the things he absolutely prioritized.
1 second. Checking something.
So, mental, supernatural, magical, physical. Or mental, magical, supernatural, physical, whatever order.
I said that was funny because somebody in the chaos group thought that me with the supernatural thing is like, oh, and are being like, why all this supernatural stuff? Because unless it explicitly says it's magical, it's not magical. And there's a surprisingly few effects that explicitly say that they are magical.
Yeah.
I've just codified the term for it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, in older editions, they did specify. There were three. There was supernatural, spell-like, and extraordinary. And extraordinary were entirely mundane. That's like a rogue sneak attack. They're attacking a vital point. Supernatural is like a shape-shifting. Spell-like is you innately have the ability. So like a racial spell casting type thing. It's a spell-like ability. And then there's just straight spell casting.
Nice.
So.
Alright. The 3D places the document down, gives it a big stamp.
Approved.
No, this is not the no, this is the what's the word for it? Oh yeah, there is actually two stamps. There's an approved stamp on their desk, and there's the fulfilled stamp on their desk, and they have indeed placed the approved stamp on it. Alright. With that, the 3D raises their hand over toward the Ixit over there. By the power within me, this form is returned. And so you wait as it begins moving up and down just like it did earlier with the Merid. And then
Let's go.
looking over at Maev, something does kind of strike you a bit about them, which is that it seems like they are like they still retain a lot of the features from being an Ixit. Their skin, despite being to their original form for the most part, still looks like it's kind of
Like texture-wise?
yeah, like there's a little sheen to it, and it's slightly discolored. They also have a barbed tail and vestigial wings of a manta ray on their back.
Not gonna lie, that's kind of hot.
And then they place the fulfilled stamp onto the document. Your wish has been fulfilled.
Yes. Oh, I'm not even a thank you. Okay.
Done.
Alright, so if it's on cooldown for a year,
May want to hold on to that.
I will. Don't worry. Throws it in the ocean.
We forgot to purchase ability haste before we frickin'. Oh god.
All right.
Well,
so
let us check on Maev.
And Maev, how you doing? How you feeling?
Marsha shoves her way up to Maev. and will give her a physical once over.
Can you hit me with some kind of restoration? I'm missing some... Am I missing max HP? Is that a thing? Or am I just that low level? Holy shit.
You say you're that low level,
my
but
God.
like you have as much HP as I do.
I know.
She's still level
Same.
6 because I was unsure
Same.
about
If you were ever gonna come back.
unsure. No, I was unsure about barbarian subclasses.
Oh, okay.
Because Aqua said he was gonna give wild magical once over or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay, how is she looking? Maisha's giving her a physical.
While inspecting Maev, it seems pretty clear that while they have retained basically everything as requested, their mental faculties are responding to you just as they would. Their bodies' physical changes have also been paired with some, what you noticed, what one might call a jelly-like form.
Oh.
As you kind of are like trying to see them flex their muscle to see if they can, flex it properly. It's like, where's the bone? To the
Oh wow.
bone.
So she's like fish lady.
She's boneless?
Boneless.
Like a good pizza.
Is it, wait, is
And I
it,
guess you're not wrong, but I hate that you said that.
What? You don't like boneless pizza?
boneless on her
Can I get
new
a boneless
features
pizza?
or boneless entirely?
Like, not entirely boneless, but pretty close to it.
Is it
Like-
like
Cartilage?
Like fish
bones
bones,
does she
or-
have?
They
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have bones.
Cartilage is probably the closest thing.
Billy.
okay? So you don't just have like Maev's skin.
Fish are so stupid, dude.
I do apologize, Maev. It seems that I was not capable of saving every feature about you.
She is looking down at herself.
Mm.
She's a little extra wiggly, but still fairly sturdy.
Well, Sonic, are you
She-
planning on playing Maev or Malarka?
Or both.
At the moment, I have both, I guess.
You can just swap between the two, I guess.
That's good.
Once we get back to the library, Maiev will take a little break.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
How?
Uh,
Maya, I don't want to. Well, how does walking around feel for you? Can you?
I am currently standing. Maiev will take some steadies.
What do your muscles attach to?
You attempt to take a step forward, Maev. Go ahead and make a
oh no.
athletics check.
Athletics check. Attributes, athletics. Yo, Pog. We have a check mark in this.
You fall and make a
Nice.
little
Happens too.
splat sound as you hit the ground, and it like the deck of the
She's
ship
like
gets a little moisture on it.
She like slightly
dear.
deflate and then pop back up.
Well, we'll just sling you over one of our shoulders, and when we need you, you can turn into something with bones.
Yeah,
And
I
you
should
float still.
still be able to do things.
Does Maiev have teeth? Do we have to like feed her oatmeal?
They definitely have teeth a little sharper than usual. The teeth are definitely still there.
Do they have jawbones? Like, can you chew? I pull a carrot out of my. This is hard. Try this.
You feed
I also
Maev like
pull
a
out-
rabbit.
That says in character as well, by the way.
What I said in character, oops.
Aesthetic.
If you can't chew it, scrape and lick.
Scrape it, lick.
Well, the muscles are still there. I'm
Muscles there.
vaguely
Bones are
capable.
cartilage.
You might need to take some time to get used to that new form.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little.
You're definitely gonna want to take a break once we return back to Candlekeep. But for now, just stay safe on the boat, and we'll make sure that no harm comes to you.
How about?
Yeah.
Well, stand up again, maybe? Can I stand up?
Maya shows
You-
hurt, when I mouth over her.
It's tough. You feel like you're already getting a little bit more acquainted with the form, but it will take some time. But you are standing.
Okay.
It's gonna take some time.
I'm just gonna try this real quick. How does it feel when I try to become a doge?
I was gonna
Where's
say
the
if you
thing?
can
I'm trying
wild
the.
shape.
I'm trying my wild shape right now. Keep mentals. Keep saves. That's not really important right now. Okay, that's not what I meant to click, but that's also fine. Other than being a little large, how does this form feel?
Good question for you.
It's definitely better. You can move around more freely. Underneath the fur, you still feel a little jiggly, but that's about it.
Poke, poke.
Take it easy, my friend. It has been too long since we were able to get you back, but we are glad to see you.
So I have 8 temp HP, but I am at 44 HP right now. So that's why I'm at full HP but hurt.
But you say hurt when I hover
Yeah.
over you, I see.
Hit that to 0. I hit that to full.
There you go.
TY $. Can I, like, poke at the Sahagin with my tail? How
What about
Barbie
the
is
swag
this
of your
tail?
tail?
Can I poke it?
You poke it and it just kind of snarls a bit.
Let's not antagonize him. It's good to see that you're back, but let's at least for now not antagonize the other captive.
For sure, for sure. She'll sit down on the deck or a chair if there's one nearby. A little sploosh is heard as she makes contact with the seat.
It's fucking funny. I still think it'd be funny if Maya just came back as like a big fucking like Mandarin like big man.
Phoenix is
I
gonna
can
look
change into that later.
out across the sea in the direction that we've been headed. Does he see the city of darkness, or is it still like really far off in the distance?
With your eagle eyes, right, you do go ahead and take a pretty good gander off into the far distance. You see a blip. That does seem a little off. Like, normally this would be a very gradual change in the levels of light around you, but staying off into the distance, it becomes more apparent there is an epicenter to this darkness that you are heading into.
How far does it seem, like time-wise?
Surely only less than a day.
Yeah,
Oh.
Phoenix is just gonna say like, not even a day's travel, and it seems that we'll reach the city of darkness.
Well, that's not so bad.
I suggest we get some rest, as we should be more well rested once we arrive there. Who knows what we'll encounter there?
Weird question, actually. The Bardicus cooldown is based on weeks. What's the time difference between time spent in books, time spent in real life?
It's not consistent.
Okay.
It does seem that on average, it's like a ×4 multiplier. On average. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more.
Okay. So if we spend a week in here, it's 4 weeks off the Bardicus cooldown? On average?
Time.
Well, it was used in the real world, so
Right.
surely it's based on real world cooldown, right?
I think so.
Right?
Right?
Makes sense to me. Aqua? Aqua?
Again, you do not know.
We'll find out. All right. Well, then I can't track it. Just tell me when it's back up. Well, if we're there in about a day, we can just kind of chill. Anyone know any good sailing songs?
You should be the one
You're
that
the
knows the
song
Yeah.
marine here.
Oh, you shouldn't have asked. And then I just start belting out sea shanties.
Milarka is looking at Maev. Maev is looking at Milarka. There's quite some tension between them, actually.
What kind of tension?
Sexual
Tyler,
tension.
is that
Ooh.
really? Tyler, is that really the
Woo.
first thing you say this session?
Yes.
Listen, quality, not quantity.
Maestro
Milarka.
looks between the two of them and is like,
Milarka
fight
will.
or fuck already. Don't just stare.
Milarka will keep her
What
distance.
kind of tension?
I had to
Oh.
know, okay?
I love
Maev
Tyler.
is a little stuck to the chair at the moment, so she can't do much. But Milarka will keep her distance. In return to Mishra's comment, she will say, as bloodthirsty, per se, as my people are, we do have some codes of honor. I can't, kill her right now. She's disabled.
Whoa.
Then fuck.
That sounds really aimless, personally.
I know, right?
Okay.
If you can't fight, then fuck. There's tension. Deal with it.
It's making the rest of us miserable.
Go ahead and continue sailing down, and it's as expected. While you're able to see the epicenter more clearly, Phoenix, for the rest, it appears like it's night. Actually, it almost feels like it's nighttime. Outside, but it's not. You have enough people on here who are able to identify when night should have approached, and it was not nighttime yet. Even though you can now see what appears to almost be like stars in the sky.
That is concerning. Is it more of a perpetual night that seems to be affecting this town?
You continue on forward, heading off into darkness.
Oh my god, we're
One thing
sinking!
at a time. You approach over, and as you arrive closer to what appears to be a dock or a beach, the city, almost like a little harbor town, appears to be illuminated by like glowing teal-like lights emanating from windows, and perhaps most notably, you think you're able to see people. Not just one person, lots of people. As I can go ahead and show you the map. 1 second. This is presuming you don't immediately dock as soon as you see it, but getting a sense of what it looks like from a distance.
Drow. Elves.
Well, yeah.
Is it all Drow from what Phoenix could see?
No, you certainly see non-drow around the area from a distance.
Okay.
Oh, so surely it's not a bad darkness. Kind of. Just
like
don't
that.
Is it more like species that normally would avoid sunlight, such as Drow?
Underdark.
Species, yeah.
Yeah, underdark creatures.
You'd certainly see drow, but you're pretty sure that a few of those are humans and or elves also.
Okay, so it's more of a legit town. Yeah, Phoenix. As Phoenix is looking off in the distance, he does make a mention of all of this of what he's seeing.
Do they look aggressive?
How would you know that?
That's what
We've given
Phoenix
them
is
some
uncertain.
stink eye. I don't know.
Oh no, you can see for miles. Just like look at them. How pissed do they look?
Phoenix is gonna like look
Okay,
for
I'm
like
back.
more notable signs of like evil, I guess. Are the like slums? Do there appear to be like people just like robbing each other, that kind of thing? Fights happening.
I think you might be overestimating how often activities like that happen on a realistic basis. But observing from a distance, you just kind of see people casually chatting. There's a restaurant that you can see people eating in open plain view on top of it.
Yeah, definitely not just assuming that this is like, like it's sort of evil town. So yeah, Phoenix is gonna say like,
I mean,
there
evil
appears to
people
be.
need to eat too.
Oh my god.
They're eating. Don't worry, they're fine.
Phoenix is just like, I cannot judge their character until once we have gotten closer.
Nice.
I feel like there's a
Cinderace says
profile you can
Phoenix
work
hates
from.
the poor.
Looks like we've arrived at our destination.
Right?
Shall
Do
we dock?
I guess we just continue until eventually we dock?
Then let me go ahead and get your boat up. I'm assuming you dock at the actual docks themselves, but I want to place it nearby just for
Visual purposes. Upon docking, does anyone approach us immediately?
no.
Can we spend a little time and have like Maiev get in the water?
Raya takes a dip for a bit and does feel a little bit more energized. The water certainly feels a bit more at home, and you find yourself able to swim without difficulty.
Nice.
Nice.
Do I have gills?
You wait to see, and after like 10 minutes, you're starting to feel like you're running out of air, but it's taking a lot longer than usual.
God damn it, I'm still a mammal. Alright.
Well,
I'm
start
almost
just
a mammal.
flying.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a mammal anyway, but a mammal with gills would be cool. Can I,
Like a mermaid.
Sure.
It doesn't take long after exiting the water for your weakness to kind of return.
What happens if, like, people splash water on me? It's like pour a cup of water on my head.
You feel like you are a cup of water heavier.
Where would the official dock be? Just so I can start moving my token there, I guess. Is it
These
like right here?
board things?
Or these?
What about your token?
Where's the official dock so that Phoenix can dismount the boat from there?
Oh yeah. That ping right there. That seems like a reasonable spot.
Right there?
Did we consider trying to purchase like a better boat? Because if I recall, this boat's kind of ramshackle.
It is, in
I
fact,
so.
actually looking over now that you've gotten a chance to kind of dismount from it, Layla. You're looking at it, and this thing is in serious need of repairs.
Perhaps we can have someone look at our ship and make repairs as necessary. Unfortunately, we don't have Alan to be able to handle that.
They'll probably tell us to just get a new one at this point.
I'm kind of okay with keeping this one. We did name it after all, which Phoenix, I forgot what we named it.
Phoenix wouldn't forget, but
Phoenix wouldn't forget. Unfortunately, I am not Phoenix. Phoenix flip-flops, walks all the way down the dock, eventually arriving at the I guess the city.
Yes.
Maiev is left behind. Milarka exits the ship, a little eager to get away from her.
Like, man, I hate myself.
So true.
Arriving over at the area over here, Phoenix, you go ahead and notice that the people here kind of give you like a little quick glance, but otherwise just return to what they were doing.
Phoenix, if they don't mind him, he doesn't mind them. Is there like a harbor master, or like a building that looks like could be like a harbor master?
Maybe not a harbor master, but there's one building that certainly seems quite larger than all the others, and it's this one over here. Significantly taller, significantly higher, and emitting more light than any of the others.
I don't think there's gonna be any trouble that happens on our boat, though. I don't know if maybe we may want to consider that possibility. Why is Phoenix by himself?
We are at a city. We could do something with the Sahagin, perhaps. You know, if you want to put him in prison, or you want to like kill him, or I wouldn't mind, like, you know, eating him maybe. Wouldn't.
What are you
wouldn't be
talking
terrible.
about?
The
Let
Sahagin.
us not eat our Sahagin captive.
Does
Why don't you keep
Sahagi
him
want
captive
to eat
anyway?
it?
It's just, I mean, it's
It?
an option.
That it is a him. Thank you very much. And I do want to eat him.
Food doesn't get pronouns, alright? Just gonna...
That's very fucked up, honestly.
But whenever I have a steak, I make sure to gender her correctly.
Excuse me, what the fuck did I just...
We've dismounted onto the harbor. Let's not go into further details.
I'm just saying, cows are female, definitionally, and it's important to gender your food correctly.
Anyways, Phoenix will, I guess, start slowly making his way around town. I guess.
Okay. No, it was a serious suggestion.
Phoenix is not
Do
not
something-
going to eat.
Do
not,
something with the Sahagin. If
Well,
not
I mean,
eating it.
these just appear to be regular passerbyers, so this is not the people we want to be speaking to.
Well, we can bring him in somewhere.
Perhaps we should hold on that until we get more of a feel for this area. We
Yeah,
wouldn't
exactly.
Want to cause a scene.
Exactly.
We've taken this little dude like hundreds or thousands of nautical miles away from his fucking home. Like, honestly, what would the harm be in just releasing?
Anyways, Phoenix is gonna walk to the
Invasive
what's the
species.
actual pathway to here? This
All the way up the dock, there's a set of stairs.
Yes.
yeah, it's so something like this. Hold on.
As you're passing by here, Malarka, on your way up, you see that there is a sign here, much more emblazoned and golden than the others around the area, that says "The Restful Lily Inn."
Oh.
Because we have a place of rest. Should.
Well, if we needed a place to stay the night, I suppose that would be the place.
Might it be worthwhile? Is this just an inn, or does it have like a tavern, or?
Right on the outside, it just looks like an inn.
It might be useful to perhaps stop into an establishment, this or a tavern, to get a better idea of what exactly this place is and what is going on.
An investigation, it sounds. Phoenix will enter the inn.
Phoenix is under
That
the
easy,
ship.
huh?
1 second.
Detective
Easy.
Phoenix is on the case.
Hell yeah.
Entering inside, unlike the outside, the inside here is quite
The
well lit.
inside? Sorry.
What?
The inside
I'm gonna
Rose, are you
hurt
okay?
you.
Are you
of
drunk?
the inn?
Hey, Rose, I know
Well,
it's
you
April
can make
1st, but
puns, but I
Hey,
can't.
Rose,
This is so
are you
unfair.
okay? Rose, it's fine.
I appreciated it.
Thank
Are you
you.
okay? Are you okay?
I don't like you anymore, Aqua Dragon.
Oh my god.
No,
Sure,
the full name.
Good, strong mom energy there, Rose.
Thank you. It's my teacher coming out on accident.
Oh my goodness.
You know you fucked up when teacher uses your full name.
Aqua Dragon.
Aqua Dragon, you
That
think
doesn't
about
remind me. I have one student inside of one of my classes whose last name is Love, and I have another student whose last name is Love Lady.
What?
This doesn't scratch the surface of the strange names that many of my students have. You just kind of get used to it and don't think about it too much. I think I had a Keviante spelled as it's like
It's pronounced Shathid.
it was like something like this. Keviante.
Oh my god.
God.
You just kind of get used to it.
Speaking of just like kids and shit, so
like
I'm
a
doing testing at the school
warlock
I'm at
patron.
right now. I go to like make sure this first grader goes to like the class after they finish testing. I open up the door. There's like this kid who like, upon seeing me, he just like lifts up his shirt. He says "Buongiorno" and does like the Italian like hand thing as well. I'm just like, what? I just like didn't acknowledge it because I was just like, did that just happen?
Oh my god.
Alright, last thing before I return back to normal. But the other coolest name I'd ever seen wasn't even my student. I was teaching middle school, administering tests, and I asked this person what their name is, and they tell me their name is Aziza. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool name. No, Aziza is not their first name. That's their full name. Their first name is Ah. Their last name is Za, and their middle name is Z.
Oh my god.
Dope.
Like that's awesome, actually. What a fantastic name. What a fantastic name. Okay.
Love that.
What name?
Aziza.
He's
Aziza.
roll 20 or Foundry chat.
Okay, well I'm loading back in because the internet fucking died again.
Nice.
Yeah.
You enter inside and you go ahead and, speaking of, find an individual who you don't know whose name it is yet, even though their name is appearing right there. But you will learn that their name is Azir so soon.
Aziza.
Where do we enter?
Azir. Oh, hold on. Did it not?
Probably where the door is, right? Yeah.
Yes.
She's hot.
She is.
Who?
I
I want to see. I want to see. Fuck you.
What? You can't like do that. It's dibs. Like you have to respect the dibs.
Dibs.
We even said that there was in fact a name tag here, so you know that their name is Azusa.
Phoenix is gonna casually walk to the front of this inn, or I guess to the keeper of the books, I guess.
Oh.
You know what?
Ooh.
I'm gonna
With it. Ooh.
I'm gonna beat you to it.
I was already here. Y'all were miles behind. Don't give me that.
I pushed Phoenix.
To the side.
Yeah.
You know, I love
yeah,
that when
sword.
people try to court me and they push the person I'm talking to.
You gotta establish dominance.
Except Tony is very awkward, so this would not go well. I'm sorry, I just have a thing for redheads, you know?
I hear that.
Hello.
Welcome over to the Restful Lily Inn. You seem new in town. I haven't seen your faces.
Yes, we've only
Where's
just
my phone?
arrived.
Where is my show?
Well, then, if you need a place to stay for the night, consider this a housewarming gift as you welcomed over to Darkwater Vale.
Dark
Can you
Water
tell us more about this town?
Well, the scenery's not much to see out into the ocean, but you'll find that we have lots of nice local delicacies about the place. And the people around town are always so happy. You'll find no greater, vibrant group of people here than anywhere within some amount of nautical miles around. The next closest port town is over a week away.
What
So,
do you
you're
mean
look-
that? I apologize.
go ahead. I was just going to say that if you're looking to stock up on provisions or get ready to head out back into the ocean, then you've picked a great place to stop for a while.
We've just only recently docked at the harbor. Where can I find the harbor master to speak to?
We don't really have one, but if you're looking for someone who is perhaps, as you might think, is somewhat in charge of this town, then look no further than me and my 2 sisters.
I see.
You got sisters?
Damn,
Yes,
girl. I'm kidding. Sorry, I did not say that.
In fact, if you're looking to meet
Thought
them,
it loudly.
if you'd like to acquaint yourself with them, if you're interested in talking about who kind of manages things around here, just down the hall, you'll see that there's the area that will lead to the rooms. And follow along the hallways there for a while with this map, and you should be able to find where the entrance to the inn is, where my sisters reside. Looking over this map, what it seems to indicate is that there are 3 entrances to the Restful Lily Inn, and that all 3 entrances connect into a little network of hallways underneath the ground, making it one very long establishment.
I see. And which of you or your sisters can I talk to in regards to not only just stocking up on provisions, but to maybe have a once-over of our ship?
Oh, for having a once over my ship? Morgana would be the one that would probably have the most details about that. You'll find her inside of the Norton entrance here on the map, as they indicate.
Morgana?
I know, Morgana.
Morgana.
Morg Mama.
Also, while you are here, since you seem so interested inside of the town, you might find this compelling as they go ahead and offer you a brochure. And this brochure seems to have a fairly extraordinary claim on the cover. Beauty, whatever it may be, we are here to help. Consider one of our offers today.
Some Night Vale shit.
I'm sorry.
No,
Have
no,
you
we're in
explained,
dark, though.
Phoenix, have you asked why exactly is it dark here at all times?
I have not asked. We've sailed from quite far away, and we saw the darkness as we headed in. Why is this place always dark?
Oh, just consider it a local feature. Nobody's really ever quite sure why things like this happen. They're lying to you, Phoenix. Bold face, lying to you.
Oh dear. I don't trust this town.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
Possibly. DM, with my expertise in Arcana, I mean, I'm assuming that this is obviously not natural dark. Would I have any idea about what could cause, like, extended darkness like this?
There's no spell that you know of that should be capable of being able to do that. The closest thing would be control weather, but of course that controls the weather, not darkness like this. To create such a large darkness would require either one of 2 things: some kind of strange localized environmental phenomenon, or some incredibly powerful creature and or set of creatures that would be maintaining something like that. Likely with some kind of supernatural powers.
Oh my god, they're hags. They're hags.
It
Oh,
is
they're
one of them
hags.
plus 2
That's
more
what-
sisters.
Yeah.
Oh god!
Tony, that's extremely rude to say about 3 powerful women. You know?
3
I'll put
powerful,
you-
beautiful women.
Independent women who don't need no men.
They don't
Right.
know,
Oh
man.
my god.
You
What am
know,
I
card
saddled
game-
with?
Old
Also,
hag
I'll
is
be
a
right
legacy.
back. I'm gonna get another lasagna.
Ooh,
Nice.
lasagna.
Zagna.
Lasagna.
Now I need food. Why'd you have to go ahead and say that?
In the meantime, I guess with that knowledge, Phoenix is just like he makes no comment about it, but he does like keep in mind the fact that they know they know something about this darkness, and they're not forthcoming with it. As he'll probably just say, then I suppose it'll be in my best interest to go speak with this Morgana.
Well, here are the keys over that leads to the hallway, and you'll find that they will open each of your rooms as well, as they go ahead and hand each of you a key.
Phoenix will grab one of the keys, and he'll nod, tip his hat, and he starts making his way up.
A bit of a stoic fellow, that one.
Yes.
Do you all travel together?
We do, actually.
Unfortunately.
Well, you all seem like such good friends.
That's a title that one could give us. Some would say we're closer.
Some wouldn't.
Kind of sitting next to Malarka, I just kind of turn like,
Nothing weird. I mean, it's just we definitely have a bond that.
People don't die
We-
together without
That sounds
bonding
a
a
little
little bit, right?
You know.
Indeed.
Enough about me.
Seems
What
to
about
not be
you?
Easily put.
With Riz.
Smooth.
My
Come here often.
Guys. Horny.
Well, I've been living here in this town for quite a long time now.
Oh,
I'm-
that's not what I asked.
God damn horny idiots. Can I get some alcohol?
Yes. They go ahead and they just head over to back for a second.
But there's kegs right underneath them. Where are you going?
They got the good stuff.
Ooh.
The good stuff.
Well, consider this complimentary as well. I just want your first visit here at the town to be a pleasurable one.
Pleasure, you say?
My
Stop.
forgive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Unfortunately, our acquaintance, our partner, is probably embarking towards Morgana. Can I get a drink for the road?
Oh, I was so looking forward to having a chat with you. What a shame. Come by later
Another
then.
time. Absolutely.
As they go ahead and pour you to drink anyway.
Thank
I
you
should take
very
hers
much.
and goes as well. Have to follow.
Presuming
Can't
that's...
leave anyone behind.
I mean, you guys could keep asking her questions. Phoenix just moved on.
Yeah, as
Next
soon as
thing you-
they're
I'm going to move on because I'm curious to see the other sisters.
as soon as they're like out of sight around the bend or through a doorway or something, Maisha is going to ritual cast detect poison.
Using to check poison, this seems like perfectly ordinary alcohol. Outside of it, being alcohol and therefore being inherently a kind of poison. But disregarding that,
Details.
Details.
It,
She'll lift up the bottom of her mask, stick the neck up, and chug it, and drink some. Never actually taking the mask off.
I'd imagine it's like you have like a bendy straw that just goes underneath the mask.
that reminds me of that when because I used to wear my mask in front of my students and they didn't know what it looked like for like 4 months. It was great.
Oh yeah, when I don't wear my mask to work, people, what the fuck? Who the hell are you?
Yeah, but I did it intentionally because it was funny, and that also meant that when I was drinking a water bottle, I would just drink it straight through the mask. Right? They thought we finally get to see their face. No, I just literally placed it over the mask and just drank the water through it. And they're like, "Why?" Some of the students eat lunch with me. Aren't you going to eat? No.
I'm practicing photosynthesis.
They did not know what I looked like until just like one day near the end of the school year. Hey, y'all want to know what I look like under the mask? I'm gonna take this mask off, and they're like, "Yeah." Everybody. That was the first time I saw everybody's attention just like directed on me with such intensity. So there I go and I take off the mask, and there's another mask underneath. And they were just so mad.
Oh my god.
I called it.
Control.
I called it before you said it.
Oh my god.
No
Correct.
regret. Entering into the tunnel system, you do see that it's just as described, right, as the map indicated. Lines and lines of what appear to be hotel rooms. Occasionally, every now and then, as you're walking along the corridors, you do find, like one person that might exit, and one person that might enter, and they just, for the most part, don't really acknowledge you, just like any other person in a hotel might not.
It'd be kind of weird if they did.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of strange. You eventually find the entrance that leads over to Morgana's side of things, and looking at it, conveniently enough for me as a DM and finding maps, it looks basically the same as the one that Azirsa is in.
That's crazy.
Whoa, crazy.
Wow.
It's almost like it's the same room, but it's not.
Oh.
Yo.
Oh god, they're all
Hello, Morgana.
they're
God
definitely
damn it! I had to
axe.
be an ace character. God fucking damn it!
As Morgana sees you going by over here. Oh. You all seem new. Well, you might have already heard that from my sister.
Yes, sure. Sorry.
Azirsa.
Azirsa. Yes, we have spoken.
Well, how long have you been in town? You must not have been here very long.
We've only just arrived.
Well, fantastic. What can I do for you today?
Yes, me and my companions just really recently docked, and our ship is currently not in the best of shapes. I hear that you are the sister that I needed to speak to in regards to having it looked at.
Oh, certainly. I can get that fixed. Now, there are two main ways we can go about this. The first and probably easiest way would be going through an offer, but if that sounds new to you, or you're not familiar with that or comfortable with it, we can go and get our dock workers to move it up onto the harbor and start working some, moving out the blemishes.
So what's the first option?
Hmm?
What was the first option?
They said taking an offer.
What do you mean by what do you entail? What does taking an offer entail?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. You see, we have something very unique here over at Darkwater Vale, and you may have noticed it from some of the residents if you were looking at them. People here arrive with lots of different things that they're interested in, and using some of our magic, we are able to provide those. For example, somebody who wants to look beautiful could have their skin always be smooth. I've had clients interested in having unnaturally powerful strength, and that's always been a very fun one for them. I've had one person that wanted a successful business, a restaurant. And for your case, it seems like you want a better ship.
Might I ask something? I am, mind you, just a humble practitioner in the arcane, but I have always been taught that equal exchange is a thing. You cannot simply create something out of nothing for such desires or wishes. So, what is the something cost for fixing our ship or getting a better one?
It would very much. You are correct. Your knowledge of arcane is very, very profound. Nice job. There's almost like there's like a little hint of condescending tone there.
Phoenix is not happy
Listen,
that.
Ash
Phoenix
worked,
is not
I was
happy
like,
that the talk
Ash
he
grew
does
up
is the
in
best.
Fae, so she's used to condescending, like, arcane people, so she's just like, like, whatever.
Phoenix is not happy. Ash is
like
probably the
that.
only other member that Phoenix actually likes. So it's just like he doesn't tolerate that kind of thing.
Malarka will sit beside and look intensely and say, "Hey,
Excuse me, I need
what if-
some.
what if-
You're
what
going
if-
to have to back off a bit.
no. Hear me out. I want a really good sandwich."
You are more than welcome to make an offer. We can give you a sandwich that way, or there's a restaurant nearby. I would like some personal space, please.
Malaka, please.
Send
She was
me-
about to explain what
Mitra
the
will
offer
grab
is.
Milarka and pull her away.
You are physically incapable of doing so.
Malarka, please step away from her.
All right.
We'll get
Give
you
me
a
directions
sandwich.
to the
Don't worry.
restaurant.
Ever since we got here, it's the fucking sandwiches.
Look, I mean,
Sandwich
there's
is a
great
sandwich.
opportunities here. There's great opportunities here, and y'all are missing out.
It's okay. It's natural to be a glutton, and then you can have plenty of opportunities to try out lots of food. It's a good thing.
Yes, see, she gets it.
Hold on. This style of conversation is starting to sound really, really off to Phoenix. Gluttony
Once
is
again,
usually not
there's
a good thing.
It's once again, there's just condescension just seeping through, and also a tinge right there. Phoenix, you can tell that there's very much not so subtle insults laced in between some of the things they're saying sometimes.
Oh my god.
So again, what would the offer be? What is it that you ask from us for a ship?
Well, for example, it would depend on what it is that the nature of what you're trying to do. For example, if you're trying to make a ship that is large and more powerful, you might need to give up some of your own power or accept some of the other terms that sometimes can be on a list such as these. I once had a harbor master who gave away their option to leave from the city, but they said they weren't interested in traveling anyway, so it was a win-win situation.
Phoenix is
So
confused
kind
because
of-
there is a harbor master.
There is a harbor master.
Anyways, Phoenix is just like, and besides the offer, what other methods of repair can we have? You said something about taking the ship back onto the dock and making the necessary repairs as such.
Oh yes,
And what
we have
kind of-
people who
Compensation would that require?
just gold. Gold would be sufficient. It's just standard repairs, as one might expect. Depending on how extensive you want them to be, or if you're looking for upgrades, we have those in the shop also.
Interesting.
How
Yeah,
about you
we-
tell me more about yourself? I'm talking so much about me. What do you need this boat for? Maybe that'll help us work out something.
Actually, that's a good question. What? If Phoenix is trying to I'm trying to remember. We came to the City of Darkness because, oh yeah, we were trying to get necessary tools, salvages to go down into the depths. We were trying to be more prepared. So maybe an upgrade to maybe get the ship down to the depths of the water if necessary or something like that. I don't know. Probably don't want to get the ship underwater. What do you think, guys? What do you would say we're really trying to do here? Because I know we went there specifically for that.
Thought we were looking for the treasure of Captain Tortuga.
Oh, but we don't know where to go. Hold on. Let me see. I'm just going back and looking. That's all.
Yeah, because on the second story of the atoll, second chapter, we went to the atoll. We spoke with the water nymph, and then we got attacked by the manta rays. We defeated the manta rays, and then we decided to head towards the City of Darkness because descending down into the depths seemed like a bad idea.
Yeah, so what had happened, the notes that I've got is pretty much, we were at the atoll. We were thinking about how we could venture into the deep there, but didn't have the abilities. And so Serena let us know that there was a town of darkness to the northwest, and that we could proceed there if we were going on an adventure or whatever. But we don't really have a clear directive, it doesn't seem like.
Where's Jacob to ask about the gosh dang Tortuga?
I'll come back down.
The one man who really wants this treasure is not here to ask about it.
Well, I was up there.
There he is.
We're getting a different kind of treasure.
No, I wasn't. Tony and I were just chilling.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Totally believe you.
We're visible on the map. What do you mean?
Don't forget that Jim
Now.
is gay.
You're visible now.
We were last.
Almost as somewhat anticipating what you're thinking. Are you looking for information? Are you looking for destinations? Treasure? That's common for people who venture by our port.
Quick out of character thing. In universe, we are members of Captain Tortuga's crew, right?
Yes, I do believe we're basically members of the Captain Tortuga ship, and we basically just survived getting out of a lot of bad stuff.
So we should frame this as like we want to reunite with our crew, our compatriots.
Well, assuming that we are the Captain Tortugas, we have yet to find the treasure of Captain Tortuga. Because otherwise we'd be rich. We're not rich right now.
Well, no. So Captain Tortuga hid his treasure
We're rich
somewhere.
in spirit and experience.
And is it that we broke away from his crew to find it, or we got separated from them?
I believe we are the crew of Captain Tortuga.
Where the fuck is Mr. Captain Tortuga?
All of it?
Yes.
The Dread Pirate Captain has 8 crew members?
Probably more, but this is just for the sake of story, I imagine.
Just like One Piece.
I guess so.
So, I mean, you could try asking for treasure.
We should probably look for the captain.
Probably one of us is
You
the
know.
captain.
It's him,
And
you
it-
know,
Look at
Captain
and it
D.
might be
Tortuga.
Jacob himself.
Severe
Anyways,
memory problems.
I guess seeing as how my colleagues are not asking the question, Phoenix will turn to the Morgan. It's just like, yes, actually, me and my companions are currently seeking a treasure.
Now that's interesting. What kind of treasure are we talking about?
What's it
Phoenix
to
is just trying to think of all the stories that Jacob has regaled Phoenix of. One of unimaginable wealth.
Are you telling all the information that you know?
No.
What are you leaving out then?
Phoenix knows most of the stories because Jacob won't shut up about them.
I'm like hand signing like Phoenix to not say stuff
God.
because I don't want other people on the scent, you know.
So, okay, so he's gonna probably say something along the lines of that. He'll say like, "I have gotten like a word that there is a great treasure somewhere, and I am looking for any information to where I can find it."
Well,
Well,
before we
let's
talk
see.
more, we should. Are you trustworthy?
Excuse me.
I don't want to be blathering around about a treasure we're looking for, only to have other people get inspired to do the same.
Well, what would you consider to be trustworthy? I'd certainly hope I am. I run an establishment. I want people to trust me.
Wanting people to trust you and being trustworthy are not the same thing.
You'd have to be quite evil for them to be different things, wouldn't you?
Well, not necessarily. Who doesn't want to be trusted? But not everyone is trustworthy.
I
Well, it's just-
suppose I don't understand where this direction is going with this. Are you trying to make a point, or
Layla sipping her invisible
I-
beverage.
I want your word that you won't take action to find this treasure on your own, or will point anyone else in the direction of. Without any kind of agreement like that, my lips are sealed.
look? I'm not interested in going after your treasure. Why would I leave here from where I run a very successful business to venture off into who knows where, who knows how far, in pursuit of a treasure that may or may not actually be there.
How's the insight on that one?
That seems like a true statement.
Yeah, Phoenix will turn to Jacob, just nod.
I'll be back in a moment. Sorry.
Okay.
All good. All right. With Phoenix's approval, then, because Jacob trusts that if anyone can see through bullshit, it's that motherfucker.
It's him.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're looking for the lost treasure of Captain Tortuga.
We are Captain Tortuga. We're just
Yes.
looking for the lost treasure.
Yes. We're looking for our lost. Did we lose it in the past?
No, we've yet to encounter it.
We've yet to it. We're looking for.
God.
I'm a little scrambled right now.
I can see
So
that.
we are Captain Tortuga's crew eventually. And
We don't
are-
know. Like, that's the whole thing. I don't think that was ever established or not.
So has he hid the treasure yet, or are we in the prequel?
You're the one who's the most familiar with this story, Jacob. Like,
That's a
No,
good
but-
point. I think to myself about all the stories I know. Are we in the prequel or the sequel?
It seems like the treasure has already been hidden.
Right.
Okay,
the
so
treasure's
we
been
are, so we are the sequel then.
hidden. Yes. So
Essentially.
yeah. So we're looking for the treasure of
We're
Captain
looking
Tortuga,
for his treasure.
which
Okay.
which we don't know where it is. Hence, it is lost. So was there anything wrong with me saying we're looking for the lost treasure of Captain Tortuga?
I'm just trying to make sure of like which one we're at. But yes, I guess that's fine.
Great. Glad that riveting discussion got figured out.
No. But when we leave a book and then come back after a while, I sometimes get a little bit hazy about the details of.
He gets too hammered.
Before gore. No.
I just have trouble placing myself in the context of the greater narrative of that story, especially when we haven't been in it.
Admittedly, this is the story that Jacob should be the most familiar with.
Yeah, but like out of game, I'm a dumbass.
That's what you just
all
say,
is part
DM.
of our own
What would
characters.
Jacob know, right? Like,
Yeah, but that's kind of I can't turn to Aqua every time and be like, hey, what do I know?
I can't help you then.
I just feel like it. If I were DM and I had to explain to my party who they are and what they're doing, I would get annoyed. And I don't want to do that.
It doesn't annoy me. My memory's really bad, so I'm pretty lenient about people's memories.
Okay.
Imagine having a memory.
Among the things that you mentioned, then likely it seems that you would have brought up that you still had this scrap paper that you found way back in the day.
Aha! In the coldest depths and the darkest depths. Wealth beyond measure for ye.
That
Treasure
was
of
found inside
highest
the belly of a
degree.
kraken.
Oh yes.
found.
Yes.
Alan?
A message in a bottle, in a way. But the bottle's a big.
Yeah. So I guess we need to go sea diving. We need a submarine.
Hmm.
Well, if
Well.
as you regaled them with all this information, they actually kind of seem as their eyes widen a bit. You know, this does actually remind me of something. My sister, not Zirza, if you told me that you met them already, but my other sister, they might actually have something related to this. Surprisingly, I thought they were silly for collecting everything that they had inside of their storage. But this is actually something they might have in there. You should go and visit her.
Your sister, she'll be in the, I see Felix points to the map, in the last location, I imagine.
Correct.
Then I'll speak with you some other time in regards to probably making payments to finish the repairs of our ship. In the meantime, I suppose we'll go speak with your sister.
Yes, and if you're not in a rush, really, take your time. Your ship's not going anywhere. There's plenty here to see. Sightsee, take your time. You've been adventuring for so many days, probably. Perhaps even weeks. Let your bones rest a bit. We have a bathhouse nearby that you might be interested in. Really cleans up the way that your body feels. People leave feeling well rested. Like a new person.
Really
Does
getting some,
like,
really getting some
or what-
Odyssey, like Lotus Eater vibes.
like when as she's mentioning all this, like, does Phoenix feel like any malicious intent? Like she's like maybe just like almost like withholding something when she's saying this? Because I'm getting that feeling at least. I don't know if Phoenix is getting that feeling.
Phoenix's feeling is not necessarily that they are withholding information, but that they have secondary intentions, but they are being truthful.
Well,
Yeah,
Jacob's a
that's-
heathen, so he would love to go to the bathhouse.
So
after
Secondary
the
intention.
conference.
the secondary
she-
intentions is what Phoenix is noticing.
Secondary intention, she wants to smash. Oh,
Phoenix, with your incredibly high insight and expertise and you can pick up on this. Both Azirsa and Morgana seem to always be trying to subtly gravitate a conversation toward their offers, and so there might be something, there might be some relationship there between why they've been so forthcoming and accommodating and offer all of these things like this bathhouse.
They're freaking
Well-
capitalists. They're just trying to get us to
Yeah.
buy more shit.
Yeah, they just
In
want us
the
to-
way that they're wording, is it similar? Phoenix is once again very familiar with a lot of bestiaries and stuff. Is it similar to the way of how like a hag would try to word their things in terms of like accepting a deal or something?
So far, no, but you haven't seen like how an offer necessarily works.
Yeah. Okay. So I've not seen any of the offers per se yet, or like exactly what it comes of our what comes of as compensation, I guess, in regards to the offer.
Correct.
Okay. Well, with that, Phoenix is gonna go ahead and start making his way towards the last hag. Oh, sorry, not hag. the last
Haggant.
sister.
well, I know this out of character, but like, hags are considered fey creatures.
You know
You
that
know,
in
this is-
character too.
Oh, I know that in character as well. Apparently.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Hags are fake. Yeah, that's common knowledge.
I will say, as we're going, I'll be like, I do wonder, with it being in eternal darkness here, if... Well, I just simply wonder, from an academic stance, grant you, what would happen if someone were to cast daylight on one of them?
they get really bright.
Phoenix looks
It'd
at his
probably
strip
be a little
club.
rude.
And he's just like, let's not.
Academic only, as I said.
I wonder how effective the ring would be in here.
Hmm.
The ring.
Heading
It's
on
one that holds up the
shadows.
ring of shadows.
Oh, probably
heading through
a little
the
more useful outside.
heading
The
through the
one true
tunnels
wing.
yet again. You emerge over into the third and final one, and before you see any person, you see a dog.
Morty!
No.
Pork, pork.
Morty! I got a treat for you, Morty!
Oh my god.
Morty gives just a single bark, and then you hear a voice from behind this chair look over. Morty? Do we have a guess?
She's blind.
You can't just say that out loud like that.
Oh. I'm saying that out loud in character. I mean, out of character. I say that out loud in character, I will say.
Say that out loud as a
Greetings.
character. Oh,
It is a
don't
pleasure
say.
to make your acquaintance.
I am Green Song. They're not looking at you as they're talking. What brings you over? Morty has told me that you're new.
Yes. We've only just arrived here in trying to remember the city's name you just told me. Darktide?
That's Darkwater Vale.
Darkwater. In Darkwater. As Phoenix just says, I do believe your sister Morgana had just mentioned that You would be the person to speak to in regards to some certain information.
Well, how can I reject if I've been requested? Yes, what would it be?
Phoenix will turn to look to Jacob, who is miles away right now.
You know, I keep getting tossed up here for some reason. I don't know why my character goes up here.
Because we have
Because
to
we're
walk.
leaving
Yeah,
and coming to a new area.
Ah.
It's just the same area.
Okay.
Don't mind. Don't mind.
I see. I
Just
see.
because it looks the same doesn't mean it is the same.
I could have theoretically rotated the map each time, but I don't feel like doing that, so
Yeah, I don't.
deal with it.
Yeah.
I'd have to readjust the lighting and everything if I did that, okay? There's like subtle lighting on the fireplace, for example.
Yeah, I noticed that there were lightings here,
Yeah.
thanks to Foundry.
Notice that, like, Jacob
Sure
here's
you
looking
stand
especially
underneath them.
illuminated.
my brain is just fully laminated.
You're looking downright radiant, bro. Laminated.
Laminated. Looking downright laminated.
Shit,
Yeah.
man, I can use dry erase marker on you and have it come off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The teacher experience, like.
Yeah.
Presumably Jacob illuminates. Get it? Because you're illuminate.
Yeah.
Jacob eliminates the situation.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Also illuminates my life.
Illumination, as
Oh.
in studio that made the Minions movies, you know.
True.
Ah!
Can I pet the
Like
dog?
3 psychic damage.
That's fair.
Bringing up everything that had been mentioned, especially the scrap paper, Green Song will kind of voice. You're right. Morgana is right. I do actually have something that does remind me of that. I have it over inside of my home, though. But I'm going to need to go retrieve it. Could you give me a day? I need to go and search and find it.
I suppose we can do that.
Surely ship repairs will take a while anyway, right?
What are you gonna say? No.
Well, I
go
have no
faster.
days of my own to spare, but you can surely take one of your own.
Got him.
Well, once I get home from work, I'll be sure to have a look through all of my belongings to find it. It shouldn't be too hard, and Morty can just run the inn while I'm gone.
I'm sure he can. He's a good boy.
He looks more than capable.
I assume your clientele are low maintenance.
Oh, for the most part. Every now and then we have people entering in for offers, and that's typically what I'm spending some time doing. But for the most part, everybody doesn't have too many complaints about how things here are run.
Yeah.
Very peaceful.
You tend to cater to the people who travel through here?
Oh, certainly. You know, if you're going to be in here for only a little while, it's only natural. It's only natural, I think. You know, it's important to be kind to everybody in this world.
Of course.
You
of
have
course.
this feeling of sincerity from them, Phoenix.
Well, this is my first time
Oh.
here, so there's a lot to see, I'm sure. What do most people come to this city for?
Typically by mostly a safe passage. They have people who are down on their luck, or people looking for things in their lives. They've heard about what we can do. People looking to bring loved ones back from the grave. Things like that.
Hey,
And I'm
exactly
sure you're in exchange for this service, you ask something of them.
Sorry, I'll be right back one more time.
I know there's some very sus discussion happening right now with this with this one.
What was your question, Jacob?
And I'm sure in exchange for this kindness, you ask for something?
Mostly, yes. It really depends on what the person values and what they're willing to give. But no more is given than exactly what is agreed on. No more. No more. So, there's no trickery. Everything is exactly as it is said. And to that Phoenix, you still feel the sincerity.
I feel the sincerity, but why do I feel like this is very suspicious? Okay, interesting.
I'm going to make a meaningful look at Phoenix, like, hey, can you, like, insight this? And then I'm just gonna be like, do you happen to know why it is your city is shrouded in darkness at all times?
Oh, that's a trade secret.
Do you know much about soul magic?
Soul magic. Our authors use it to some extent. If you aren't already familiar with how the process works, Morty, could you point it? Morty, kind of, borks over in this direction here.
And Ash, it's you who is interested in magic of the soul, no?
I am indeed, and all the kind of murmur, although I am not drawn to this book, but
Maybe there's
yes.
more we can take from it than we expected.
Perhaps. Greensong, I have some curiosity, I must admit, even though we are just sailors, about what distinguishes soul magic that you speak of versus you talk about bringing the dead back, similar, from simple lich methods or similar. How does one truly manipulate the soul?
A lot of soul magic. Ooh, this is a very big topic. And a very big question. Perhaps narrow that down a little more.
What do you know about destruction of the soul?
That's what more Zashi's
looks at,
into.
yeah, Zashi looks at her with a deep fire in his eye.
Destruction of the soul or resurrection of it?
Souls are kind of like... If your body is a container, your soul is like a liquid that sloshes around within. And if you can move that liquid, manipulate it, or make it more dense, you can always fit in a little bit of extra alongside the soul. And if you put in just the right amounts of things alongside this liquid, it keeps it nice and pure and pristine. But if you put in too much of the wrong things, well, that will lead to that destruction of soul that you are mentioning. And it is not easy to unwillingly create that space within one's body. So most soul magic involves willing creatures.
I see.
As for bringing things back then from the dead, if you aren't already familiar with how death works and the process of souls, it's, I believe, fairly straightforward. The instant your life expires, your soul will fly off in an instant over to the realm of Celestia. Or, in more grim cases, if you've already sold it, you might find it going down into the nine hells instead. But typically that's a person's own fault, and really, what problem is it if they kind of brought it on themselves? I think that's only fair that if they brought it on themselves, they go there. So, your soul instantaneously leaves, leaving nothing behind but a body. The difficulty with any resurrection with anything but magic is imagine a pool, and you need to grab just the right parts of the liquid to put it back into the body again. Well, if that sounds impossible, it is. Without some magic anyway. But people have been trying to find ways of being able to manipulate this liquid for an incredibly long time. And this is where our offers come in, as they make a conduit that makes it channel just a portion of magic to manipulate this liquid in just the right way to get just the right change to the body that somebody wants.
I see.
Can you drink
Def-
this liquid?
The Phoenix, does this sound like in any way like some sort of heresy to the law of the world or the law of like just like the world in general?
No, it all sounds fairly accurate based on your base arcana.
I see. So none of this sounds like absolute incredible heresy. Magic can do, as she was mentioning.
Everything they've mentioned is factually accurate.
But that's not any different than what Ash already knows.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
hence factually accurate.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, they didn't ask a question about something they didn't already know.
Yeah. Then I suppose, as we wait upon you for this item request of ours for till the next day, I suppose we'll just spend our time looking around Darkwater.
Absolutely, feel free to do so. There's a nice restaurant nearby. You could consider it if you're feeling hungry.
Yes, I suppose one of my allies, he looks towards Melarka, has been hankering for a sandwich.
He's getting
Look,
angry.
it's something about being a pirate. I just, it's hard, okay?
Yar har fiddle-dee-dee, being a pirate is hard to me. The bitch you want 'cause the pirate is free.
With that, Phoenix bids Green Song an adieu as he just says, "It's been a pleasure to meet you, ma'am." As he tips his hat and he starts making his way towards the door.
Tips fedora.
The door. What?
Door.
Where does this take
Noise.
us? Oh shit, we're outside now. Wait. No, there we go.
Oh shit.
We were on a different map, I saw.
I think I saw something I wasn't supposed to.
I think so too.
That's okay, I'm gonna be quiet about it.
I don't think there's any need.
I just thought we popped up here instead.
I saw a token, but
Phoenix,
Oh.
well, go to look at this restaurant. Apparently, that keeps getting hinted at.
Well, I mean, you guys can check that out. I want to go to this bathhouse.
You're made of fire.
That's me.
That's not me.
Yeah.
Oh, you sounded like a little bit.
He's a one-man sauna. That's how she is.
I can heat up the water for you.
Yeah. BYOS.
actually that's a fair point. Zashi, how do you bathe?
What is this bathing you speak of?
You absolutely need to go to the bathhouse.
Oof.
I wouldn't so much call it bathing as more everything that would need to be bathed off is sort of just incinerated.
Actually, hold on. As they're doing the, I guess, looking at the restaurants and stuff like that, Phoenix will eventually go to, back to the first one, and he's gonna go ahead and ask about the setting up the payment for the boat. At least for now, for general purpose upgrades, since they're gonna wait a day anyways. Wasn't it the second one, the drow one? I forgot. Morgana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go ahead and ask Morgana about the cost of the services. General upgrades to a boat, including a size, adding a deck, adding a hull, will probably go
my
for
God.
about 10,000 gold pieces.
Oof. That's a good thing.
Much more than that could get pricier depending on what you're looking for specifically.
I'm looking for just general repairs at the moment.
Oh, just
And-
general repairs?
General repairs as well as supplies.
General repairs would probably go, depending on the extent of the damage, it's hard to give a suitable quote.
Then I suppose, can you have someone come with me to investigate the boat?
Oh, I'm not a boat maker. personally, but I can go ahead and have my people there at the harbor take a look and give you a quote by, say, tomorrow.
People will call you.
Once again tomorrow. Maybe just like, what's up with this tomorrow thing? And he just says, yes, that'll be fine.
Excellent. Enjoy your time in the town for now. In the meantime.
Phoenix tips his hat and he makes an adieu again. This time he actually just returns back to the boat.
Once
To
again,
keep my company. To keep my company, I guess.
Once again, you constantly get the sense that they have like secondary intentions, but they are being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're heading to the bathhouse, right? I believe. Jacob.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go ahead and do that. Entering into the bathhouse, it seems bereft of patrons right now. And one thing that you also notice is that there is no facility inside here for like rinsing off or like putting your clothes somewhere or stashing your belongings or to like. It's just the bathhouse itself with the water as you see it there.
Huh.
Odd.
Well, I'm a nobleman by birth. So I started taking my clothes off and putting them on this little bench here, getting ready to go in. I'm not about to soil my good garments.
Your good pirate garments.
Yes, they're so cool. And my armor as well. The armor definitely comes off before the bath. I feel like that's standard.
Always polite to wash before you eat, I suppose.
I was like, why are you here? I thought you were going to get some food, but that's a fair point. I would also be interested in the bathhouse. She's coming up here as well. It's sort of just out in the open, it seems.
Well, I mean, we've been through thick and thin together. We've fought together. You've died together. It's, I'm professional.
This guy.
Y'all have died together. I don't know about none of this. We bullshit, says Jacob.
It's we. What's this we? I didn't know we were in France.
You know what? Fuck it, my sure will come along.
Yeah. And then
It's
once
like-
I'm
it's like-
dressed, I'm going into the bath.
It's a group bath.
Yep.
Malarko will cast darkness focused on Jacob and just leave him in there.
That's a good idea for your own protection.
For your own protection.
Oh my god. Poor Jacob.
That's like 10. That's like 10 minutes. So we just that's like a fast rinse.
Yeah, Maestro won't even be undressed by then, because as she takes off her cloak,
Oh,
and
you
she's
don't
got
go
a suit of
into-
full plate underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on just washing. This place is here to relax. You know.
Maestro
And
will-
entering into the waters, Jacob. One thing that seems very clear is this water is. I'm trying to think about what would be the best way of expressing this. It's not ordinary water. By far, it's not ordinary water. You can feel it into your bones. The relaxation. It's like all of your bruises and aches are fading away.
Oh my, this is lovely. What do they put in here? Some kind of wonderful tincture.
It may be worth
This really
retrieving
is
the purple one to stick in the water.
You know, they did not understate this. This really is a nice bathhouse. I'm so glad I came here. I'm gonna sit in this water for a while. I could stay here forever.
Hearing the forever, like Lily's just like putting her clothes back on.
This,
You don't trust like that.
this is some very sus words coming from Jacob.
Oh, hey, guys, it's just nice. What?
If he tries anything, I will blast him.
Me?
Who
Oh,
among us
that's
is
like
the fastest?
she actually said a whole sentence. Wild.
What was that?
Who among us is the fastest?
Me. Cheer.
Oh
Actually,
no.
I should probably go anyways, because you might have to carry her. This is gonna be great. Malarka will leave and come back. She's going to the boat to grab the purple one.
The purple one.
The
The
purple,
purple
one.
one.
The purple one, they say.
Which purple one? There used to be two.
There's a purple one now. She's a little boneless.
Just a little bit, though. Just as a treat.
Boneless.
She'll like water.
Are you going to try pushing my Ev into the waters?
Yes.
If you get Maya killed right after we worked so hard to get her back.
It's alright, she's wearing clean underwear. Her mother will know she is.
What?
Yes, for the record, I am wearing underwear. I am not naked. For the
He's
record.
wearing
no.
that bondoshi.
Fundoshi?
Yeah. Malarka will aid Maiev in undressing enough and quite literally toss her into the water.
Alright, tossing my Ev into the water. They splash down inside. Just as Jacob Maiev, it feels like your bones and ailments are just kind of fading away. Your worries, sorry, not your bones.
Your bones
your
are
bones
fading
are
away.
faded.
It's nice.
Your jelly.
No, your bones have already faded. Your aches are not there anymore, and it feels like your legs are stronger. You feel like you can walk around in the water, not just because you swim more comfortably in the water right now, but wait, you feel your back. Your little thin protrusions are not there.
No, huge. She will stand up, mostly like out of the water.
Right now, it looks as if your body is completely back to normal.
Oh.
Oh. Do you see to soak for a while? That's weird.
Out of curiosity, she will exit the water and kind of maybe dry off a bit.
My shirt
Drying off, you
goes over
start
and
noticing
closer.
your protrusions beginning to return.
Huh.
Oh, are you like one of those it's like one of those like fucking young tween mermaid books.
Were my protrusions still present in the like ocean water?
Yes.
Okay, so this is just
Oh.
special water.
Temporary
This is-
restorative effect.
This is also just like Luca.
Good movie for real.
I love that movie. I wish Italians were real.
Yeah, Maisha will eventually get down to her small clothes and her mask, which she keeps on.
Do you ever like brush your teeth? You're like,
They're clean.
Alright, fuck it. Has lately just undressing.
It really is. Everything had been advertised for. The water is pristine, and it feels fantastic. Good temperature. Good temperature. Good temperature.
This is lovely.
Maisha
See, it's
Cracks the back.
nice. Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to remove your mask?
Why would she want to remove her mask for a bath? She's not gonna suck the water in.
It's more comfortable without a mask, I imagine.
Although, do you think we could bottle this bathwater?
no.
I don't see any guards. I don't see why not.
I don't really have anything to put it in.
Do you have a water?
What?
Do you have a water skin?
over
What?
there, but it's full of drinking water.
That's
I don't
fair
want to
point.
pour that out. We're about to head back to sea.
Maestro pulls out the bottle of alcohol that she finished earlier.
Hmm. Now you're thinking.
I will
What-
certainly do.
What does happen upon ingestion of the water? Anything
It
like notable?
tastes
or
like
just kinda
water. You've ingested nice water. But this is where I think Jacob, you have investigation.
I do.
Yes, I do, but I'm not very bright.
Wait,
Before
Oh.
anything, I would like to clarify. Malarga is not like in the water. She's exclusively using a rag to like wash off, and
yeah, Maestro's sitting at the edge, cleaning up.
Nice. Yeah, it's a nice day in the bathhouse.
Would you like me to roll investigation?
No, it's good.
Okay.
We're just,
Oh,
just
no.
double checking, like trivia, right? It's like fun trivia.
Yeah.
Every single time I hear roll an investigation check when Phoenix is not around, it hurts.
I do
me.
not have proficiency in Arcana, but I do have Jack of all trades.
There you
Very
go.
cool. Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
You know what? I would love to take this bath on the road in a way. I wonder if we could figure out how they're doing this, so that we can experience this wonderful feeling more than just in this bathhouse.
Maestro
Looking
will
ar-
put some
looking a bit-
water in the bottle, and then
Looking-
walk
as you
over to
bottled it up, and Jacob, taking a look around, you notice that there's not like you would expect that there's something recycling water. Constantly,
Yeah.
like a fountain or
What's it
jets
coming
or
from?
anything, but you don't see anything like that.
The dirt washing off of our bodies. Does it like just fade into nothing?
I don't know how good your eyes are, but that's typically what happens when dirt is placed into the water. Yes, it typically fades away, out of sight.
I mean, if you're dirty enough, it changes color.
Oh, certainly, but I would like to think you were not quite that dirty.
What if you
I
just
mean,
like?
how long were we at sea for?
What if you just like to see like the perfect way to test is if you like somebody just like take a shit right now, like
Oh God.
that's indisputable.
Well, Layla, go ahead.
Take L.
I'm good. I was merely proposing the solution. I wasn't gonna do it.
Maestro will go and grab some of her armor. And then go into this corner. And try cleaning some of it. Just like, vambraces or something.
Very cool. You are cleaning your armor with the bathhouse water. Nice. I'll just let that sink in a bit.
No.
I mean, it doesn't say what we can bathe in this house. It just says bathhouse.
Just, rinsing them off, that kind of thing. Not like full on like soap and cleanser and shit, but rinsing it.
It's rinsing. You got the rinse going.
Just a quick basic thing, and then she'll toss it back with the rest of her armor.
Very cool, very cool. Cozy.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, outside.
I think it's just Phoenix and the Sahuagin at this point. And Lucy.
I'm outside.
And so is Tony.
Stop
Oh yeah, and Tony.
And Zashi, because
Zashi.
Zashi's not going into water on purpose.
Nope. Why would God's name would I do that?
Phoenix turns to Zashi and just like, I don't feel comfortable about this place. It just doesn't seem right. There's so
How
much.
do you think I feel?
This place just feels incredibly suspicious.
Let me put Tony and Ash up here.
Hey.
Look, for some reason,
Am I being
I
yoinked? Okay.
for some reason, We're in a book with a lot of water, and I don't like it, so.
Well, that's to be fair. But even though this place is land, probably the most land we're probably going to see in a long time, this place, not so much that this place is like covered in a perpetual state of darkness. I find that strange. Yes, it's more like the three ladies that pretty much run this place. They're hiding something. I can feel it.
Oh, most
I'm-
certainly.
And it's something to do with their offers as well.
I mean, they don't sound like things you would, go into without doing your research. I don't think you want to make a deal with them all willy-nilly now.
That's exactly my point. But that seems to be every single time we had a conversation with them, they always drifted towards it. And they always portray it as something simple. Like, oh, just a small partial of what you of your desire. Something about it seems like it's the intent to keep us here, to never leave. Maybe I should try speaking with the locals.
I was going to suggest that we should see what the state of their mind is, how whole it is or not.
I agree with that statement.
But,
Phoenix will.
I will join you, but I must say I agree with your assessments. There is, even just to maintain this sort of darkness spell on this area would require an intense magic of some sort.
Phoenix
so
is gonna
camping?
Phoenix is gonna go ahead and get off the boat, and he's actually gonna go to like maybe try to find like an establishment or like a restaurant or something.
The restaurant? Where's the restaurant at?
Like that. Yeah.
The most notable restaurant would be this one over here.
Over where?
This one right here? Oh, that one.
Alright.
I think I had the name written down somewhere. I forgot it.
Their name is Restaurant.
Nice. You enter over into the establishment, and it's a little busy right now, but there's still copious amount of seats remaining.
Phoenix is actually doesn't really plan on ease because he can't, nor does he
There's
care.
some interesting people here. Hold on.
Phoenix will actually look around the room, and he's just going to maybe sit at one random table alongside someone.
The patron looks at you. Excuse me?
Pardon me. You know, just trying to find a nice seat with company.
Find it somewhere else?
I'm gonna whisper to Hash and say, does he not know how a restaurant works?
No, he doesn't. I'm just going to come up and I'll be like, pardon my friend, we are new here. Have you indulge us for a moment, please? This is all very strange to us. Have you been in here? What is the name of this place again? One second. Darkwater Vale for long?
Yes, I've grown up here, but also I'm trying to eat right now. Sorry. I'm not looking to buy anything.
No, that's fine, but you said you grew up here. Has it always been this dark? I'm sorry if that's a stupid question, but most places in the world are not like this.
Yeah, it's been dark this whole time.
And the sisters, they've always been the ones in charge?
Oh yeah. Ever since I've known.
How does the plants grow if it is dark all the time?
Yeah, I'll have a nice day. You seem insistent on wanting to eat this meal.
Okay, I'm just gonna nod towards Zashi and Phoenix really quickly because I keep remembering I have a staff of the woodlands and I'm going to be like, you two continue, I'm going to go speak with some plants, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go walk toward these plants. We can finish with the restaurant first before I talk to the plants.
Talking to the plants.
The one thing Phoenix can't interrogate.
Or I can stick with you and then you can come with me to talk with the plants. Sorry, my bad.
No,
You
don't worry.
want me to help
You
talk
can
to
have
the
your
plants,
moment.
trying to intimidate them.
All right. We don't want to be too intimidating, Zashi. What? Let's see what we can do here, and then we talk with the plants. I admit I've not yet tried talking with the plants, so the support could be useful.
You talk to a plant,
However,
kill me.
speaking to local patrons may be difficult. We should probably find somebody who is
Not trying to eat.
exactly.
Are any of these unique characters here? Do they all look like patrons, or is anyone a worker?
Everybody here seems like a patron. Looking around at the workers, though, one thing that you notice is that the waiters and the staff have not said a word this whole time. They just arrive, bow very politely, take the order, and then wordlessly walk away.
We're
My kind of people.
I'm just like trying to figure out if there's like any particular spell that could maybe be useful in this kind of scenario. Not that I know of.
Thesis Oedicus.
While you're doing that and looking at your spells, maybe you can talk to the plant dash.
All right, let's go talk with the plants. All right.
Talk with the plant.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the staff of the woodlands to speak with plants.
The little tree over here waves its little branches at you.
Greetings.
I guess Phoenix will be here to make it less awkward, so they're not talking by themselves.
Hi, I'm sorry I was gone. My sister came back home. Her car was broken into, so.
Oh. Yeah, that's just a bit more significant.
I was helping her cancel her credit cards and literally they smashed the windows and took her purse.
Ugh,
and she was like, "Why did they take my cheap ass purse but not my $60 water bottle?" And I'm like, I'm not sure that they looked up your water bottle.
Well, maybe they should have.
Yeah, she was pissed off, but apparently the cops can't do anything, which is stupid. Cause what the fuck are we even paying them for?
Trust me, I know. My car got broken into a year ago,
Oof.
and the cops did absolutely nothing.
Jack shit.
Yeah. They literally told her, "We are so sorry that happened to you. I hope your day gets better."
Yeah, but
What?
Wow.
Honestly, the fuck do you expect from cops? It's fucking cops.
I just expected something. For example, the dudes went to the local supermarket and tried to get money out of the cards. So the machines, ATM machines, they have
They have
security
cameras.
camera.
why wouldn't you look into that? You at least know who it is. And
Yeah,
no,
there were
apparently
security cameras outside of my work when it happened, so I don't do anything about that shit.
it's just really fucking dumb that this is what is I don't know.
Never
But
call the
anyways,
cops.
she also told me that previously the thing that this organization she was a part of they were doing some shady shit, and her and a couple of friends have decided to sue them a couple of years ago, and the lawsuit is finally going through, which means that if the police department settles, which is what that organization was, it was a part of the police department, if they settle, she'll get somewhere between $1 million and $6 million, which
Shit, nice.
is sick. She said she'll
Damn.
pay off my student loans, so I was pretty happy about that. But anyways, let's hope that this happens.
Yeah.
It's been a weird night. I'll say that. So I'm sorry I was gone.
No, don't be sorry. What?
You're fine.
That's the
I
whole
got
thing.
I got up a bunch to meet a lasagna. I think that's more valid.
That's fair.
Okay, next time, don't miss so much of the session. Come on.
I'm sorry.
God.
Your sister's car's get broken into on her time, not our
Yeah,
time.
it'll still be broken into when the session ends. Come on.
bad.
Absolutely
kidding.
brutal.
Yeah, it was
I'm
savage.
kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course.
It's
Is-
it's
is-
really funny because the first thing I told her is Hondas don't get broken into because she always makes fun of me for having a Honda and she has a BMW. And I was like, I was saying because Hondas don't get broken into.
You doing
But,
okay
yeah.
though?
I'm doing it. I'm fine.
No.
It's kinda-
Is Tona doing okay?
Oh yeah. I mean, she was laughing about it. She was. I
For
told her
now.
she was talking about the water bottle.
Okay.
So
Does she get that the things in the purse also have value?
she said that it's just a bunch of credit cards and her ID, which the biggest hassle was to reorder an ID because she has to go to the DMV. But
Oh, okay.
she'll be fine.
Okay.
Anyways,
Probably.
what the fuck are we doing?
Talking to plants.
Interrogating some plants.
Yeah. You should.
Okay.
Yeah. Want to just say you're in the bathhouse with us?
Yes.
All right. Cool. We
More
we
people
met
for
the
Jacob to
purveyors.
call on.
We met the purveyors of this inn. They gave us some points of interest to check out, noticeably skewed towards establishments they own, but can't fault them for that. Allegedly, they're gonna help us outfit our ship a little bit so that we can hunt for the treasure better. And then me and a few others, Malarka, Taylor's new character,
Hi, Jack.
and
Yes, sir.
Maiev are in the bathhouse, and then a few other people are checking out this other place.
The restaurant.
Sick.
Yeah, restaurant.
So, are they hacks?
That's
We don't
the
know
working
yet.
theory, but we're not sure.
I mean, I see 3 women and I immediately think hags. Like,
That's
You know?
it takes 3 hags for a coven, so I also think that they are hags.
This is fair.
and I know Aqua Dragon loves hags, so they're probably hags.
Ooh, new
It'd just
data
be
point.
women.
No, they're hags. Trust me.
Okay. I think they're women.
Well, they could be both. They usually are.
Okay.
What's a hag if not just a fey milf?
Yeah.
True.
True.
Real.
These are pretty milfy though. Like I saw the pictures.
Damn, yeah.
Solid.
Interesting descriptor. Sure. Plants
Milfy.
your plant speakiness can begin, and I imagine the session won't last too much longer after that.
Yes.
This is
So
a good recording.
I
Because I always end my sessions off of a cliffhanger. I'll always do.
Obviously.
I'm so good at that.
I introduce myself and Phoenix to the plants. And I would like to ask them, so I just say, thank you for your time, but we're new here, and honestly, if you could just tell us what is going on with this town, with the people here, with those 3 sisters, the lack of sunlight that we can see, at least. Anything you can offer would help. This is very strange to us.
So remind me that have you ever seen anybody speak of plants in any of my campaigns?
No.
It's pretty straightforward. Plants don't speak back with words in my campaigns; they just speak forward with images, and that's it.
Okay.
They're accurate and are unambiguous images. So, what was your question once more?
All right, let me rethink this. Start with the first one about
The fuck is
the
going on?
sisters. Yeah, pretty much the fuck is going on. But let's see what they know about the sisters. Like, who are they? How long have they been around? Are they a bad deal, or what's going on?
You see an image of 3 sisters and what looks like each one separating out into a kind of like giant house overlooking a little city, and a whole bunch of little happy people underneath.
A giant house. Interesting.
It's all
Wait,
connected.
a giant house overlooking the city?
Mm-hmm.
Is the city look like this? If so,
Uh,
maybe Phoenix can see it.
But as an image representation, this is what Ash sees inside of her head, as the plant speaks.
Oh, okay.
Can I tell where that location is?
It's the actual city itself, like Darkwater Vale's underneath.
Oh, so it's like above.
Yeah, like looming over it, basically.
Huh. I'm going to ask about the sun next.
The sun.
Yeah.
You see that this plant actually has an interesting thing to show. Initially, actually, it shows a city that looks like exactly like this one, but it is completely covered in sunlight, like a regular, ordinary city. And then the little picturesque representation of these three sisters moving in, and then a little bit later, everything gets covered in darkness. Notably, as the three were entering, their appearances did not match how they currently look like. They still look like young women, but they didn't have the same like hair and facial features that they currently do.
Can I get a sense of how long ago this was?
It looks like this would have been probably at least 200 years ago.
And then I want to ask about the residents here and people coming in if anyone ever leaves.
Yeah, you see that they view ships exiting and entering from the harbor all the time, and even the little picture images of, people from the city entering into a boat and kind of venturing off.
And I'm trying to relay this as best as I can to Phoenix, so any other questions?
I kind of have a question. I know I'm not there, but like when we were out at sea, did we see something at the top, or was it just like darkness and clouds?
I mean, from my knowledge, it's like perpetually nighttime here. This place is illuminated by the stars.
Yeah, but I meant like, when did that start? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
about
asking.
200 years ago, from Ash's questions. It seems.
No. I'm asking like, at what location did this start? Like, where?
You're talking about
like...
how you're asking how far does it expand?
Yeah, like because we were traveling normally and it was daytime, and then we saw darkness, right? Like a dark cloud, right? Is that what we saw?
No, it's like perpetually nighttime here. It's not a
So
dark
how
cloud.
did we enter to the nighttime from like
Yes,
where
I
we
understand
were?
your question. You're asking kind of how far this range extends on this darkness.
Yeah.
However, when the plant and tree is asked about this, it kind of just responds like a question mark image.
I mean, that's a question you
No,
can
I'm
just ask
asking
Phoenix.
you.
You can
Yeah,
just
well,
ask
I'm
Phoenix. He
asking
knows
us,
that.
like- Yeah.
It's probably at least 30 minutes of travel time, so this range extends for many miles.
Okay. I just wanted to know if it's like directly on top of the city, or if it's like like if it's the ocean that's also a part of it. And like if it is, I don't know if this is like something that can be answered, but like, is there any fish living here? I don't know if fish need sunlight. I'm just like wondering
the
about
plants
like
need sunlight, so
yeah,
depending
so
on
like
the plant.
yeah, so like are plants alive? Like
We're
question
literally
mark?
talking to one.
It-
We are
like,
literally
how are
talking
they
to
alive?
one.
I know we're talking to them. I'm just wondering how they're alive because like it doesn't make sense.
You see that that plant has like a nice little radiant teal glow, as one of its branches just very gently point over at the little glowing teal light nearby.
Okay.
Looking it over, Ash, looking at where it's illuminating from, it seems that these teal lights are coming from some kind of crystal, and these crystals are very similar to drift globes at a glance, likely emanating some degree of artificial sunlight. or at least a sufficient kind of light that the plant is able to use.
I see. Any other questions, Phoenix?
Not quite. But I do have, as he looks at the Ring of Memories. I don't know if there's any place I could use this, though.
Well, I can always speak with the plants again if needed. We do have this staff here, very useful, but I'll turn back to the tree and just bow my head and be like, thank you for your time.
The tree gives you like a little wave emoji.
The tree just says, "Hate to see you leave so soon."
All right, we're done for tonight. Goodbye.
Ash brings out a chainsaw.
I'm going to despawn you. Oh my god.
For the
Perhaps
sake
we
of
just-
time, Phoenix, I will assume that you will do your interrogation of any people that you would like to do, like next session. But
That's fine.
Everything gets to the next day without a hitch. Is kind of where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
There's nothing that shakes up. Whether or not you sleep in the inn or not, things go off without a hitch. And at some point during this, I'll just presume Phoenix and Ash are going about town and doing some interrogation and or asking bits when Greensong does actually find you with the help of Morty, who goes up for some pets.
Oh, good pupper.
And Greensong will tell you, I was looking around and managed to find what I was looking for. Although it's been so long, I do remember the feeling of the paper. It was so distinct to me, and it reminded me of the one you handed to me. As
Well, of
they-
course.
This, hold on. One moment, let me find the image. Who's before me?
I'm not waiting. Not warmly, at least.
Wow. Okay, didn't even save like it was supposed to. Amazing. Nice, let's go.
Ribbons. We have to hold it up under the light of the moon. Like.
Suspicious.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
What?
found it.
Oh,
There we
there we
go.
go.
It's moon runes. Oh shit! Can you present one more time? I accidentally closed it.
In
There we go.
the depths, the darkest depths, dwells beyond measure for ye treasure of the highest degree.
You already
Well,
had
that's
that.
what we
I think
had.
we had
Now we
that
have
one.
this very cool, definitely not like
Map
you know,
with the
paint,
X on it.
like MS Paint map.
Well,
Like-
I wasn't here.
I think that's a coastline.
As that image is where the session will end off for today. We can backtrack over to the previous night though, so you don't feel like you missed out on anything if there was more you wanted to do before the day had ended.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
Also, I won't be here next Saturday.
My
Just heads up.
Oh my
He hates
God.
us.
Yep.
God damn!
Goodness.
That should be the last time I'm gone for a good while though.
Is Sunday Sunday
you see
getting to
that
go
last
to
time?
next week?
No, I will be gone on Sunday too.
Okay, that makes me
Good.
feel a little better.
Yeah, like, we're all like, good.
They're like in and out, in and out, in and out.
Damn, you couldn't have been gone the week after.
At
Are
least
you
I'll
not gonna
get
be
to
there?
do-
Sometimes these things happen.
At least I'll get